Recording in progress.
Good evening, everyone. I would like to welcome you to the City Council meeting of September 24th. I call the meeting to order at 6:05. Madam Clerk, please take roll call.
Hassan Ahmad,
Present.
Moby Dun is absent. Nancy Breyer. Is absent. Robert Constant.
Present.
Denise Malinowski Maxwell. Here. Hassan Saab.
Present.
And Tom Wenzel.
Here.
Mr. Chair, you have a quorum.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Second, we go into the Pledge of Allegiance. I would like to call the Crestwood students, Layla, Riham, and Sarah, to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. Before we move on to the second item today, Council Chair Baidun is unable to join us this evening as he mourns the devastating loss of his first cousin, who was tragically killed in Lebanon along with her two young children. This heartbreaking tragedy is a direct result of the recent Israeli aggression, where hundreds of warplanes have been bombing civilians and homes, leaving a profound mark of devastation. In the past 24 hours, nearly 600 innocent lives have been lost and over 1,300 people have been injured. As we gather today, it is essential to acknowledge the deep pain and sorrow that our community members are experiencing. My heart goes to Councilman Baidun and his family during this incredibly difficult time. Losing a loved one is a wound that cannot easily heal, and the added tragedy of losing her children is unthinkable. I also would like to extend my deepest sympathies to Dearborn Heights resident, Mr. Hossam Ferris, who has faced unimaginable loss with the killing of his parents, 5 siblings, and his aunt due to this ongoing violence by the Israeli armed forces. No words can truly capture the pain of such profound loss, and our community stand with him in solidarity and support. To all who have lost loved ones, know that you're not alone in your grief. We share in your sorrow, and we are here to uplift one another during these trying times. The impact of this violence extends far beyond borders. It reaches into our hearts and our homes. As we reflect on these tragic events, let us take a moment to honor the lives lost and stand in solidarity with those who are suffering. Please join me in a moment of silence to remember those who have been taken from us and to express our hope for peace and healing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilman Ahmad.
Thank you. It's okay. As we move on to the second item on the agenda today would be City Council City Recognition, Resident Recognition. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm excited to introduce Tim Emery for today's resident recognition, a remarkable individual whose commitment to our community spans decades. For the past 10 years, Tim has been an integral part of a junior achievement in Southeastern Michigan, inspiring young minds and fostering financial literacy. In 1987, Tim took the initiative to set up the first reading computers in Westwood, paving the way for modern education tools. His involvement with Rabashah High School includes supporting the Booster Club and organizing several homecoming parades, showcasing his dedication to school spirit and community pride. Tim has been an essential part of the committee for all school picnics for 11 years, and he played a key role in 1974 Rabashah 50th Class Reunion Committee ensuring that alumni could reconnect and celebrate their shared history. His mentorship with the first robotics team from 1998 to 2002 exemplifies his passion for the STEM education, while his 20-plus years of service on the TIFA board, including serving as a chairman, highlights his leadership skills and dedication to improving our educational system. Tim's contribution to the Westwood Community School Board of Education are significant. He received the Level 7 President Award in 2021 and currently serves as board president. Additionally, Tim has served on a safety committee for Safe Kids in Dearborn Heights, advocating for the well-being of our children. As a past president of the Rotary Club of Dearborn Heights, he exemplifies the spirit of service and community engagement. In summary, Tim Emery's extensive contribution to our community, education, and youth make a truly deserving candidate for this recognition. Thank you, Tim, for your unwavering dedication and impactful service. Everybody. Council members who would like to join me, please. Dearborn Heights City Council Certificate of Recognition presented to Timothy Emery in recognition of your exceptional leadership and unwavering dedication and unrelenting commitment to serving our community with distinction, compassion, and unshakable resolve to improve the lives of those around you. Signed by Council Chair Baidoun, myself, all council members. Mr. Emery. Please. Yes, my family. Please, please, you got the podium.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. At this time, I'd like to introduce you to my wife, Sherry, our youngest son, Michael, who's also a Dearborn Heights employee. Our superintendent of Westwood Schools, our stupendous superintendent, Style Simmons. Yes. And this is a great honor. I do it because I enjoy doing things. And I was talking to John Siddiqian earlier today, and I says, I go back to our superintendent when I first got involved in the schools, Dr. Aquila Bradford. She says, if you want something done, ask a busy person. So that's kind of like how I got involved and keep involved. And we have Tom Roscoe sitting down there. He's our TIFA coordinator. So
Well, give him a round too.
So thank you for the award. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Emery. Thank you for all you do.
Thank you.
Council members, anybody would like to say anything?
Yes.
Councilwoman, please.
Yes, I've known Tim for a very long time. He and my dad were great friends, and he does everything for everybody. And there's nobody more deserving than what Tim has done. Thank you very much, Tim.
Absolutely.
Councilman, would you like to, Councilman, please.
I too have known Tim for a long time, and one of his best traits is that he does so many things, and a lot of them are behind the scenes, and he's not out there promoting himself. He promotes the youth of Dearborn Heights, and he's a great man. I'm proud to call him my friend. Thank you, Tim, for everything you do. Plus, Tim has probably hardly ever missed a city council meeting on Zoom.
You're right. Thank you, everyone.
Sometimes it's a good thing if you don't hear.
Yeah.
Thank you again. Moving on to agenda approval.
Council Chair,
Councilman Saab.
move that the Dearborn Heights City Council approve the agenda for the regular minutes of September 24th, 2024 as submitted.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Constant. Any discussion? No discussion? Whoever is in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? The ayes have it. Approval of the minutes.
Council Chair,
Councilman,
move that I move that the Dearborn Heights City Council approve the minutes for the special meeting of September 5th, 2024 as submitted.
Second.
second, a motion by Councilman Saab, seconded by Councilman Constant. Any discussion? Whoever is in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. 4B, Minutes for the regular meeting of September 10, 2024.
Council Chair,
Councilman Saab,
Council Pro Tem, I'm sorry, I move that Dearborn Heights City Council approve the minutes for the regular meeting of September 10th, 2024 as submitted.
Second.
a motion by Councilman Saab, seconded by Councilman Constant. Any discussion? Whoever is in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Moving on to public hearings and comments only on agenda item. And you have 2 minutes. Any comments on agenda items? None. One on Zoom. Let's, go ahead.
Thank you, Council Chairman. Tom Wenzel, 2 Lane Street, Dearborn Heights. I want to comment on, agenda item 14C.
14C. What's that? With the berry.
Yeah.
Public comment.
Okay, 14C is, comments from the public, which is one of the last, items on the agenda. And, I really don't think it's fair because for some of our longer meetings that we have, a lot of people who are watching them on Zoom or people that attend the meetings turn off Zoom or go home. And people that sit here or wait on Zoom for hours to put up a comment aren't heard by as many people as they should be. And I would like the city council to move the public comments to the beginning of the meeting.
Thank you, Councilman. I think this is something probably we need to discuss with Council Chair next time, but for sure, I'll let them know. I'm in favor too, to be honest with you. So maybe
How can we get it done so it can be on that way at the next meeting?
maybe if you can come with a motion, send it to the Council Chair, he can put an agenda and everybody can vote on it. That's how it's done, right, Madam Clerk?
Yeah, it would be.
You can make a motion to, you can bring a motion forward to move that part up to the front of the agenda.
I would say just bring a motion for the next
Make a
meeting.
motion today, to vote on it next meeting or vote on it today?
It really
do
be
this
the
in-
council chair's
Council Pro
discretion.
Tem,
I mean, yeah, I would leave it to the Council Chair, to be honest
He's
with
the
you.
one that runs
Yes.
the
Yeah.
meetings.
Yes.
Let's just bring a motion next time and let's vote on it next time, if you don't mind.
Okay, because it's so unfair that we sit here and we talk all night. And there's people out here that sit here and wait all night for them to talk and we give them 2 minutes or 3 minutes. I think that time thing, we should look into that also because hours and hours, we yap our jaws up here and they come in. This is the public, the people we serve, the people that elected us. Okay, you got 3 minutes and that's it. I think it's really unfair. I want this moved to the beginning of the meetings and I want to consider what we're going to do about their time also.
Thank you, Councilman. Thank
And
you
I-
very much.
And I can provide council with the information in Corporation Council because that's who typically rewrites
Please,
the comments.
sir, your name, your address, please. You have 2 minutes.
Hassan Ayun, Dearborn. I wanted to ask you guys, what bids do you guys have going on right now? It says bids. Can you lower it? Up it?
Okay, sir, just talk to me, please, on.
I'm
This
talking
all-
about
No, he
the.
wants to see what's on the bids.
There's no bids today. I don't think there's any.
Why
bids.
say bids under it?
Just a category.
It's just, but there's nothing under it.
There's nothing on bids today?
Mm.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else? Okay, Madam Clerk, we can move on Zoom. Sir, please, and if you can mention your name and your address and city you're in. Just your street.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Dana Parrish, Grinley Park, Dearborn Heights. Sorry about my voice. I wanted to address 11A for a minute. I was wondering if when you do look at 11A, you can look at a couple of items. Number one is the disposal of waste. Councilwoman Malinowski Maxwell brought up something from a previous vendor where there was possible problems with waste going into the sewer. I was wondering if you could, address that possibility. And I know there's something in there from the Wayne County Health Department. I didn't see it directly addressed. Perhaps it's in one of our ordinances that's listed there. I'm not sure. The other thing is, I don't know if there's anything in there about the fire department, fire extinguishers, things like that, because some of the vendors do cook. So I don't know if there's anything addressed on that. The other thing was, I would think there should be something in there about the ability for the city to do unannounced inspections. And if there are unannounced inspections for that official, whoever that official is that's named, to be able to actually shut down that vendor immediately. Cease and desist right there. No going back and saying, well, we have to do this, we have to do that, but immediately shut them down. Because there have been instances, I think almost all of you said, there's been instances where things have been going on. There should be a clause in there somewhere to be able to shut them down if they need to. I know it's rare, but if it happens. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Have a good night.
Thank you very much, sir. Any more comments on Zoom, Madam Clerk?
Okay.
Okay. Hello. Good evening.
Sure.
Can you
Good
hear me
evening,
okay?
Yeah, Madam Treasurer,
Okay,
please go
yeah,
ahead.
hi. Yeah, Lisa Hicks Clayton, Treasurer. I'd like to address item 9B, just with some information. This is 9B with IT Director Cooper and PEG funds. As this honorable body knows, PEG funds are restricted and limited to what those funds can be used for. And when looking at the current fiscal year budget, basic accounting principle is you have two accounts. You have a revenue and you have an expenditure account. When you look at your current fiscal budget, we see the revenue coming in for PEG funds, but the expenditure is at zero. So Director Cooper is asking you for appropriations of $25,000, but I would say, and this is what I would ask the council to consider, is your expenditures and revenues should match. Right. So if it's 140,000 over here, 140,000 over here, again, restricted funds. And I do have those in restricted bank accounts. So when that's brought to your attention, I would say maybe even ask for a capital improvement plan. What are the funds going to be used for? How much? Give you some ideas, because you as a council body, it is, your responsibility when approving that, but you need to know what you're approving and for how much. So that's all I wanted to leave with you this evening. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Treasurer. Any more comments?
Well, I have a question about this.
You have? Oh, that's your comment? You're all set.
Yeah,
Anybody else?
I have a question for the treasurer.
Madam Treasurer, are you still on? You want to leave it till the item comes in? Let's discuss it when we have it.
Can we do it now because I'm at an event for this
you are?
conference?
Okay. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Councilman.
I
Thank you,
stepped
madam.
out.
No problem. So this $25,000 is restricted to what it can be used for, right?
That is correct.
And we don't have to match the funds.
No, it's not. We have
What do
to-
you mean by match? Where I
You're
was
saying
talking about the accounting principles is what I was
so
talking
You're
about.
saying there's 125,000 in there, so we have to match it with 125,000 supposed to be
So if
balanced.
so the way the budget should look, and this is no fault of the comptroller, current comptroller at all, because she wasn't here during the time when the budget was going on. But your revenue, you have two accounts, you have revenue and you have expenditures. They
Right.
should balance. And they don't right now. And I understand from my discussion earlier that I had with IT directors that the council maybe had rejected all capital outlay plans. And I think I would imagine you would want that because that money is coming in. Okay, we get PEG money. That's your revenue side. But your expenditure, how are you spending that money?
Well, that's the question. If it's restricted and we don't know what this PEG money is going for.
Various purchases.
You want to ask, in my opinion. My opinion only, sir.
Okay, we'll ask when the item comes up.
Thank you, Councilman. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Madam Treasurer.
You're
We're moving
welcome.
on.
Thank you.
Any more comments? Madam Clerk? No more? You do? Please, can you unmute him, please?
You have a question? There's one more in the audience.
Hello, please mention your name and your address.
Good evening, Council Chair, Vince Strapkowski,
Good evening.
Columbia Street. There's no explanation of what these funds are wanted for, on these PEG fees. So I'm hoping it's either some sort of equipment or something to improve the Zoom meetings and functions of that nature. Is there an explanation of what these funds are requested for?
No, there's not.
Well, don't you think it'd be a good idea if you knew what it was for?
100%.
Okay, I vote no on this.
Are you all set, sir?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good evening,
Good evening.
everybody. The same thing on
I'm sorry, name and,
Zuhair Abdulhaq, Dearborn Heights.
thank you.
You know the address. 9B, the PEG is very restricted account. It should be used for specific items. And if anything comes in front of you, it should be clear what is it going to be used for specifically, because the PEG law states exactly what you can use it for. It's to basically teach the public and educate the public about your government, no more, no less. Second thing, I would like to draw your attention to some claims. I would like you to pay attention to some bills which submitted and they were signed by people who are not authorized to sign it. I hope you pay attention to that. So the right person, the head of the department, sign for every bill which comes for that department. Nobody else signs for something which they shouldn't be signing.
Are you
Thank
mentioning for something for today?
It's in the claim. To be honest with you, I don't know the number, but just. I
Thank
want to
you,
pay
sir.
attention.
Any more comments, Madam Clerk? Anybody? Please mention your name and your address. You have 2 minutes.
This is Steve Vale, East Pleasant Ridge Street, Dearborn Heights. Again, I'm in total agreement with what was mentioned. This is in regards to 14C, public comments. I was going to bring it up myself, but Councilperson Wenzel beat me to it. I would like to see that this item for public comment be moved up in the agenda. I've noticed in the meetings that I have attended that the administration tends to leave prior to anybody from the public make any comments that need and possibly could use his input. I believe by moving it up earlier into your agenda, this would allow everybody, administration as well as council, to hear the various comments that need to be said and maybe requests that need to be had. My understanding is that council does have the authority to make a resolution and then to pass that resolution tonight. Also, I've noticed that in regards to that the chairman is online at this point in time. So I would urge the council to maybe discuss this a little bit and come up with a resolution and vote on it tonight. I don't see this as being that big, other than it does move it up within the agenda. It may take a couple more minutes, but I think it's something that is needed to provide the public better access to its government. That's it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your comment.
I just got one more question. I didn't use my minutes.
I know you already spoke though. I'm so sorry.
No problem.
I believe I prefer just to wait till council chair is here and so he can make it.
participate.
Yeah, and he cannot go on it right now.
He can't.
Correct. Thank you, everybody. Moving on to
Council
number
Pro Tem.
6. Councilman?
Just to comment on that last gentleman's statement, just to clarify this, is this something that has to be voted on by council, or can the clerk and the chair do this on their own?
It's part of council procedure.
Council proceed, okay, thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Moving on to number 6, fund transfer and current claims.
Council Chair.
Councilman
Council Pro
Saab.
Tem. I move that the Dearborn Heights City Council approve the current claims ACH and wire transfers 6-1 through -6-19 and 6-21 through 6-42 as submitted.
Support. A motion by Councilman Saab, seconded by Councilman Constant. Any discussion? Whoever is in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. You have no bids. Moving on to number 8, reports from the mayor 8A, Dearborn Heights Panthers Junior Football League Parade 2024.
Council-
Pro Tem Ahmad.
Councilwoman Malinsky Maxwell.
Yes, I move that the Dearborn Heights City Council grant permission to the Dearborn Heights Panthers Junior Football League to hold a parade on Saturday, September 28th, 2024 at 9:15 a.m. Police Chief Swope and Fire Chief Brogan have approved the route and will provide any services that may require as outlined in 8A.
Second.
Second.
A motion by Councilwoman Malinsky Maxwell and seconded by Councilwoman Breyer. Any discussion? Whoever's in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Moving on to 8B, Central Wayne County Sanitation Authority Delegate Appointments.
Council Chair Pro Tem,
Councilman Constant,
I move that the Dearborn Heights City Council concur with the mayoral appointments of Mr. John Dancy, who's our DPW Director, as the primary delegate for the Central Wayne Sanitation Authority, and Mr. Ali Dib as the alternate delegate as outlined in 8B.
Second.
Second.
a motion by Councilman Constant, seconded by Councilman Saab. Any discussion? Whoever's in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? The ayes have it. Moving on to reports from city official, 9A, CEDD, Director Jamal, fiscal year 2024-2025, CEDD, HUD, CPD, CDBG funding grant.
Council Chair.
Councilwoman Breyer,
I'd like to make a motion that the Dearborn Heights City Council approve the acceptance of the fiscal year 2024-2025 CDBG funding grant in the amount of $982,315 and authorize CEDD Director Jamal to sign the grant agreement. In addition, authorize the controller to amend the fiscal year 2024-2025 general ledger line items for Fund 103, account 960, Community and Economic Development Department, which is CEDD, according to the attached budget allocations table. Further authorize the CEDD Director Jamal to expend the Dearborn Heights CDBG funding, attached budget allocations table. And, I think I went up a line there. In total amounts not to exceed the balances of the assigned general ledger line items according to all related federal and local rules and regulations as detailed in the grant agreement, and to prepare and approve all necessary drawdowns to pay back the general fund and amend the 103 fund general ledgers account as needed according to city CEDD/CDBG citizen participation plan and applicable rules and regulations. Moreover, authorize the mayor, comptroller, or clerk to approve the CEDD/CDBG expenditures, warrants, payments, and the treasurer to pay them in amounts not to exceed the balances of Fund 103 budgetary line items according to the City Charter, Chapter 8, Section 8.9, as outlined in 9A.
Support.
motion by Councilman Breyer, seconded by Councilman Constant. Any discussion?
Council Chair?
Councilman Wenzel?
Yeah, I spoke with the director a little bit about this. There's a lot of people that have been waiting for this. And I would like the director to speak briefly on it, if we can get him and let him just speak a real brief summary of what this is all about. I know it means a lot to a lot of people.
Is Director Jamal on?
No, I don't see him.
Unless he's an iPhone.
Is not on? All right, thank you very much. Any more discussion? Anybody? No, whoever's in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. 9B, IT Director Cooper, PEC funding request.
Council Chair, Council Pro Tem.
Councilman Saab,
Move the Dearborn Heights City Council authorize a transfer of $25,000 from the PEC revenue account to capital outlay account 101-809-981.001 for previous purchases for WDHT in the near future as outlined in 9B.
Second.
a motion by Councilman Saab, seconded by Councilman Constant.
Council.
Any discussion?
Yes.
Mr. Cooper? So like we all know, Mr. Cooper, that 25,000 is restricted funds.
It is.
Do you know exactly, because it doesn't say here.
I just have,
Oh, Councilman, sorry.
As he read that, I think there was a wording typo. Let me just double check something if you don't mind really quick.
I just wanted to clarify real quick that the the revenues don't have to equal the expenditures. Like if that were the case, we'd never have fund balance. So the information that was provided earlier is not correct.
No,
So
the
there's-
issue is
there's
here,
about
just
1
the PEG funds right here.
Right, so there's about 1.2 million in the account and Director Cooper's just asking for 25,000.
But I understand, but since it's restricted funds, we need to know exactly why is he using the
I
funds
just
for
wanted
it.
to clarify that the revenues don't have to equal the
Thank you.
expenditures.
Director, go ahead.
You have to spend.
Okay, I don't know if it was misspoken, but you said previous purchases, I think.
No,
in your
various.
No,
Okay,
various.
I thought I heard previous, want to make sure, nothing has been purchased yet with this money. I can't make a purchase until money goes into my expense account for that. There are various expenses that the TV studio uses that line item for. So I'm looking to get that. I can't make a purchase, cameras, supplies, subscriptions to various websites that they use for their editing software. Their Adobe renewal is coming up. I'm just looking to start with that so we can.
Well, Director, you cannot make a purchase without the okay of the council, so you're doing it,
Exactly.
you're doing it backwards.
No,
You're trying to get the
can't make
money.
a purchase though, because there's a zero on that expense account.
Well, once you have something you need to buy and it's not restricted, it goes with the restricted funds, that you can bring it back to council and we can move the money or approve the purchase. That's the way I look at it.
Wouldn't we want to do a budget amendment, which this is, to put the money into that account so I can make that purchase in the future? You asked to make sure that no administration was making a purchase if that line item in that account or in the budget was a zero. I'm doing what you requested. I'm asking for that budget amendment
Mhm.
so I can have that money to spend into the future. This is not purchasing the item right now. It's just so that I can make those purchases in the future for the TV studio. I can't make a purchase.
Council
I can't put anything together. I'm sorry, ma'am. Until there's a value in there. I need a budget to be able to know what I have to work with.
So let me go, Councilman Sabas first, please go ahead.
Yeah, I have a few questions to this. So I understand what you're saying, but we're authorizing $25,000 restricted funds for PEG funds.
Correct.
But, I mean, are you gonna come back for anything you purchased to council for approval?
Yeah, because that's
That's
required.
one.
Yes.
Number two, is any of this money being used for so-called the future studio that you guys are planning on building or attempting to build?
No.
Okay,
Nope, it's not.
All set, Councilman?
I'm all set.
Councilwoman?
Yeah, I guess if I'm hearing this correctly, you're just trying to put something in a zero line budget that's zero right now.
Correct.
Because if something little happens that you need, that's even $100, you don't have it there.
Correct.
to
Exactly.
purchase. Okay.
Yep.
And as I heard correctly, Madam Comptroller, you said this is totally fine. Any more discussion from anyone?
Council Pro Tem.
Councilman?
Your budget, the money that you spend, is that all PEG money?
For this, yes, it is all related to PEG, yes.
I mean, but your budget, you have a budget for yourself or an IT director. right?
Correct. That is
Okay.
separate from this. I help manage the TV studio with this. And this is 100% PEG related. She's looking at some more cameras, some subscriptions. We just actually have to renew a subscription for Motion Array that gives her some of her editing software, everything.
Couldn't you come to us and give us a list of items that equal 25,000 and said, this is what I'm gonna purchase in the future? And then you could have altered it as you went or something. I mean, it would look a lot better that way. You know, I know what you're saying. You know, you like to have like money in a checking account.
Yeah,
Or to buy stuff.
I get that. But again, it was, hey, I know we're gonna have some purchases coming up very quickly. I didn't ask for, again, the 1.2 million, the 140,000, I think is the expected revenue. It was just some, so we can cover some expenses that we know coming up. Is it all gonna equal that 25,000 right now? No, not even close to that. But we can't make a plan until we know what that budget item is. It's just like when we go through the budget hearings and everything, and we're trying to get, I don't know what I can do for my future until you give me my budget, even my IT department. That's how I make my plans for it.
Can we go with a lower amount or no?
Councilman?
I'm sorry.
Are you all set, Councilman?
Yeah, I mean, I understand where you're coming from. I thought of a lower amount crossed my mind too, but
Something's
like
better than
myself
nothing.
and most of us here got calls about this and it said, hey, it's just like a blank check. And I said, not really, because anything you spend, basically, if it's $1,500 or over, that's be approved by council.
Correct.
And I think it would be, I mean, I'm willing to approve this. But it's just there's just the red flag pops up when it says, give me money for something I might spend in the future.
Well,
You know?
when we do our budget hearings, isn't that what when we sit right there, what we're asking for? We're asking for that money to spend in the future. We don't give you a detailed list exactly at that time. You know, as the administration, we're asking for that. Hey, you control the budget. Tell me what I have. Okay, so it's almost like I'm sitting at that table right there during budget hearings. I'm asking for a budget of the 25,000, which isn't even close to what we know that restricted revenue is. Okay, so that I can actually now make my future plans sitting down with Angela and John. So we know what we're gonna do, because again, they're looking at stuff. They're not gonna continue looking at cameras and different purchases if they know that there's not any money there.
Well, you know, you could come to us and ask for $300,000 for something if it's warranted. You know, that's what I mean. I'm kind of in favor. Would you be willing to take you want to take over here on this?
Yes, I do. Council Pro Tem.
One second, Councilman Winston.
Yes.
Yeah, to the chair.
Please go ahead.
So I have a few questions. Wasn't this denied before?
Originally on the very original budget, it was about 500,000 because that's what it had been. And from what I was told, it was always kind of carried over year by year, that budget for the PEGs. Because again, it was PEG revenue, not general funds. It was always just kind of moved over into it.
Okay, so, and my other question is that whenever you come for us for something that's needed for the city, we'll go look at it to approve it. I just think that because it's such restricted funds and there's so much to come with it, is it can a lower amount be okay with?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. The 25,000 was just because, again, a camera can easily be $5,000-$6,000. So that money can kind of go pretty quickly. That's why the PEG funding, there's so much money, in there. I'm willing to work with you. I've got no problem with that at all.
Council Chair Pro Tem, if
Are you all set, Councilman Saab?
No.
Can we do?
So last year,
10?
just last year, last year not last year. This had come in front of us already. I'm just trying to remember when it was. Was it last year or was it this year?
No, I've never come to you for the PEG because there's always been about $500,000 on this line item in the budget since I've been part of the city.
It seems like there's so many questions right now, I know the treasurer said something, the controller said something, the IT director is saying something. I would say, let's table this, let's get more clarification, and you're not in a hurry.
I have subscriptions due this month for that.
Well, you just said,
I think we should give him some for this.
Let's do 5,000.
That's the gimme.
Okay, 5,000, but I want that 5,000 to come to us.
I'm not spending 5,000. Like there's the subscriptions that we're doing for her are, annual subscription. It's like $300. That's below the threshold. But again, because that line item is zero, I can't put an invoice in and write on it because again, that was actually your request to make sure that administration did not spend any money if there was a zero line item.
Thank you,
So I'm
Director.
trying to meet your requirement.
Any more discussion from anyone? Councilman Saab, Councilman.
We have the direction that going to change his amount to 5,000.
If that's what it gets,
He said-
so I
yeah,
can
he
pay
said
for the
it's okay.
subscriptions coming up, yes. I'm recommended.
Madam Controller, so once we move the money, does it stays restricted or stays
Yeah,
restricted?
It's always restricted.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you guys okay? Who did the motion?
I
You did? Yeah. Are you okay amending
Amending the
to
motion
5,000?
to 5,000 from 25,000.
So a motion by Councilman Saab was amended to $5,000. Councilman Constant, do you second that
Second.
motion? Seconded by Councilman Constant. Any more discussion? Whoever's in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Director. Moving on to 9C, Police Chief Swope, purchase and payment, additional Exxon Pro licenses.
Council Pro Tem Ahmad.
Councilwoman Malinsky Maxwell.
I move that the Dearborn Heights City Council approve the purchase and payment of 4 additional Axon Pro licenses. In addition, authorize the mayor and comptroller to sign the warrant and the treasurer to expend the $5,993.28 payment from the federal forfeiture account 265-330-831.265 as outlined in 9C.
Second.
A motion by Councilwoman Malinowski Maxwell and seconded by Councilman Constant.
Woman, right,
Any discussion?
Yes.
Councilman Saab,
Chief Swope.
Good evening.
Good evening. Go ahead, Councilman.
Chief, regarding these licenses, so I know we use Axon for multiple things in the department. Is this something that's limited to certain employees, or does every employee have a license to this?
So the pro licenses, which we're talking about, is only certain employees. So there's some record staff, there's some civilian staff like the FOIA coordinator, the director of support services, myself, Captain Hatton. So the pro licenses, what they do is it offers more opportunity to restrict video from other people seeing it. Also, there's redaction on there. There's other types of tools that we use to complete administrative tasks that the normal line officer or, civilian employee shouldn't be able to do.
So what qualification does somebody need to have a such license? Because of policy reasons and everything, so this is for example, looking up somebody's record, video, information.
Yeah, so no, so Axon it's basically body cameras, vehicle cameras. There's no like looking up information in regards to like people's names or anything like that. There is license plate reader information on there, but that just tells you where a license plate was seen, but everybody can look at that in regards to an officer or the chief of police. So the training or the qualifications you have to have is basically lean security awareness. So it's a training that we have per the state that says that if we watch a video and we hear or see anything like confidential information, that we can't share it. Right. So that's the training, and that's an annual training, and everyone is certified on that on an annual basis.
And so everybody that's going to be using this information or have access to this information is qualified, licensed, or trained?
That's correct. Everybody in our police department that works out of our police department has security awareness training.
You got to be AMCO certified to access these?
No.
Council Chair, Pro
What's that,
Tem.
Councilman?
Oh, yes, I'm all set.
Thank you. Mr. Fernando?
It's also necessary for our courts. That's how we get our discovery out to the attorneys on all of our cases is through Axon. And they're reviewed by our FOIA coordinator at the precinct, the police station, as well as necessary officers for videos and other confidential.
Yeah, and just to
So our
add a
courts
little bit
need it.
more, so you do know, so the pro licenses, there's two kinds. There's a records pro, which costs the same, and then there's a administrative pro. So the records pro can't like issue equipment. We also like issue body cameras from the system. So like each supervisor on each shift, if let's say we get in a foot chase, we lose our body camera, or someone runs it over in the road after use of force, we have to then assign a new body camera to somebody. Only users with pro access can do that. So that's why we need so many, because we have to have access to the tools that allow us to make sure that our officers are equipped with the right equipment.
Okay, so I'm sorry, Council.
Go ahead,
I had a follow-up question. So these are for the courts or for the police department? Because he said that
Yeah.
they're for the courts.
No, for the police department, but what he's talking about is, so when we get discoveries from the courts, the record staff and the FOIA coordinator would then go into the Axon system, use the tools necessary, export the information, and send it out to the court so we can try cases.
And then my last question to you, and I don't want to keep up there,
Sure.
is whoever has access to these, well, software, whatever this may be, is it something that they can look up at home, watch an officer in his car, or watch what an officer is doing at any time of the day?
Certain people, so the administration, let's say myself, the director, captains, anyone with the administrative pro license, there are options to where we can look in on an officer at any point in time. And I think that's a great thing because, if there's a collision, the cars, when they get in an accident, Axon will notify us at home on our app and it'll say, oh, vehicle collision. And we can log in to see exactly, did our officers get hurt? There's also gunshots. So if there's gunshots that go off, it automatically says, hey, there's a gunshot that went off. So if we're at home or at work, we're able to see what happened.
So my question back to you is that I'm sorry, I'm gonna keep asking these, but I'm trying to get, just clear every, bunch of questions I've written up. So you're saying we're gonna get pro and pro administration, right?
Yeah,
Or-
those same things. So like if we have, let's say 12 licenses, right, or 10, like we want. So we can choose who has records pro and who has administrative pro. Administrative pro are the chief of police, the directors, the lieutenants, the captain.
So currently, does the director of support services have this access currently?
I don't even have it because we
Okay.
don't have enough licenses. So what we did is I took my license and I gave it to someone in records, right? And then Director Vanderplow gave his license to, I think, Sergeant Zopko, who's on the shift, so he can assign body cameras to people. Also, if we like use our tasers, we have to download the taser and just get data off of the taser usage. You also have to be a pro user to do that. So, yeah, but when we do have enough licenses, the Director of Support Services will have that because he is also the head person of our investigations bureau.
So has he had it since he's been hired?
Oh, of
That's my
course,
question.
of
So
course.
he's had access.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Okay, but we just never had licenses.
No, we have licenses, but we have to move them around. So let's say I need to get in there to do something. I'd have to have someone with a pro license, take a pro license away from someone else and give me the license so I can do something, right? So, yeah, it's horrible. So,
Thank you, Councilman. So basically, Chief, every license is assigned to somebody.
yes,
And per our emails today, you said we have 6. and
yeah, we have six right now.
And we're requesting 4 more.
Yes.
So the 4 more would be for yourself and 3 more.
Yeah, so like I think the people that need them right now is myself, Director Vanderplow. We have another one for I think Sergeant Suggs and Captain Hatton. I don't know actually who has them right now because anytime we need to do it, we have to transfer them around, right? So it's a system to where we've been able to hire more people and get better at, our administrative tasks, which now requires us to have more, more licenses because we're more transparent and we do a better job at managing the police department.
Thank you, Chief. Any more discussion, anyone?
One last question, that's it. I thought the last question is 10 times.
Can I get
but,
it there?
So these licenses now become like permanent to you?
They'll
So
probably.
they'll
be
have enough to
permanent.
where it's
Yeah.
yours, it's not gonna be transferred to somebody else or?
Yeah, unless there's a glitch in the system or something, our plan is to not have to go and find a license from someone so we can do our jobs, correct?
Sure. Councilman, go ahead.
Yeah, just so everyone knows, all the departments have this, all the departments in the area, Wayne County Prosecutor. So for discovery, if you make a discovery request, you go to the website, you have an access code, you go in, and you, over a certain amount of time, can download the discovery, the evidence. So what it does, it's controlled, it protects everyone's privacy. It shows that the attorney got the information and so forth. So it's a good tool that all the departments use.
Thank you, Councilman. We already have 6, so we already used it. They're asking for 4 more. Yeah, because there's more officer. Any more discussion from anyone? Thank you, Chief. Thank you very much. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. No petition from citizens. We're going to 11 ordinances and resolution. Council Chairman Baidoon, extension of the temporary food uses and licenses at specific locations, resolution.
Council Pro Tem Ahmad.
Councilwoman Malinowski Maxwell. Is that close enough?
You're getting better.
Can you say Ahmed?
I did. Ahmed.
Ahmed.
That's
Ahmed.
Ahmed.
Please go ahead, Councilwoman.
Okay, I move that the Dearborn Heights City Council further extend the amended resolution regarding the city council approval process for temporary food uses and licenses at specific locations for an additional 180 days as outlined in 11A.
Second.
Motion by Councilwoman Malinowski Maxwell and seconded by Councilman Constant. Any discussion? Councilman Wenzel.
Listen, it's going from 45 days to 180 days. that what he wants to do?
No,
No.
No?
We've been extending 180 days, but I know we had a study session on this and I know, Mr. Friend has been working on the ordinance. Any updates on the ordinance?
Yeah, we could completed the ordinance. It passed the planning commission. I think the issue that you had raised, which took some time to look at the building department, is whether if we want to limit to 20 food trucks. We have 11 plus one that's about to be approved,
Uh-huh.
but it covers a lot of what the gentleman that was on talking about, disposal, health department, fire department. Our ordinance covers all of that. But the problem is if we had limit to 20 and we have a truck fair or more food trucks, we'll go over that limit, for Ramadan or other things like we've had. So the question is whether we want to limit it to 20 or just let it go where every food truck has to provide a site plan to the buildings department. It has to go through Wayne County Health Department, fire inspections. It has to get the approval of the brick and mortar building that's adjacent to. So everything is checked, verified. And then the requirement is $1 million for insurance coverage rather than 150 that currently. But I'll bring it back to the council. I couldn't get past the issue of the 20.
I believe what Mr. Friend, when we had the discussion at the study session, we said 20 because I
Right.
think all council members, they want to limit to 20 at one time. So only 20 at one time that are existing and in operation. So if somebody decided not to do business anymore, then somebody else can apply and take their place.
What if we have 11 or 12 and that's below 20? But if we have a fair or a food truck rally or something.
Well, that's different. This is, we're talking about stationary, like they're all year long. But if we have a, special event, I think that would be different.
Okay, then I'll present it at the
It
next
should be
council
under
meeting.
different,
Final
like
approval.
temporary license. And, not all year long, I believe,
But
correct?
the ordinance is for 1 year, but it has to go through all the inspections and it's subject to the further inspection by our ordinance department to make sure, all the permits are there and current and, the truck itself, it stays with that truck. It can't be transferred to another truck.
Correct.
So which doesn't,
So I'm saying if I want to have my own party and I invited or I ordered the truck from out of the city that's coming for only 2 hours for my party and leaving, they still need a permit, correct? But they're not staying. So they don't need, I think we need to have something for something really short, like special events.
we have that that's in the ordinance.
Okay.
But I'll highlight it and make sure when I bring it
All right,
up, address that issue.
So yeah, go ahead, Councilwoman.
I'm suggesting that we just set this aside for now, since we have an actual resolution, an ordinance coming from Roger in regards to this. We should, we don't want to clash. We want to make sure.
Well, I think
He's the other
even
one
if
on
we
the
pass this, I mean, we need to pass this because we have to approve some on agenda today, to be honest with you. So if you don't pass this, it's already expired, we cannot approve more. So if people are in business right now, they'll be without a license. I would say even if we approve this, he'll bring the ordinance to us, we can still approve the ordinance and oversees this extension.
Is it
It'll
gonna clash
supersede.
with this at
Yes,
all?
It'll supersede.
It's all supersede, doesn't.
That's
clash.
fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. I just.
Any more discussion from anyone?
Council Pro Tem?
Councilman Wenzel?
I'm a little confused by all the conversation that went on here about the number of trucks and in the resolution, the change is that the temporary permission for a period of 48 days is changed to 180 days.
No, Councilman, this is just to extend
Yeah, but
the temporary license for the food trucks until we have the ordinance. So if we pass this today, it brings us the ordinance next meeting, we approve it. That's it. This is null and void. Doesn't go anymore. So we go with whatever the ordinance we approved.
so this resolution here, I mean, are we approving this resolution or are we
We
approving?
approve an extension for whatever the resolution we had before.
This
It's
is
been
the
going on
previous
for 2 years.
resolution. Was that changed from 45 days to 180 days?
No, it's been,
Already been approved?
we've been extending for 6 months at a time.
At 6 months at a time. Well,
Yeah.
that's more,
We've been doing this for the past 3 years.
well, I mean, I don't know, why is it crossed off and highlighted in this resolution then?
I don't know where you're looking at.
Right here in my backup.
Because that was what it was amended. That's the amended version.
This is the amended version.
Yes.
That's
That
kind
has
of,
been
that's kind of confusing,
previously
'cause it looks like this is what they want to change it to.
No,
You know, it's crossed off, highlighted, change it to 180 days. But that is, it's 6 months right now, temporary food truck license?
That's what we've been doing it, we've been doing, extending this every 6 months. So we did this early in the year, then we're doing it again. So hopefully by next meeting, we'll have the ordinance. We don't have to extend anymore.
I don't remember extending 6 months. I voted no on that.
We've been doing it for 3 years,
Yeah.
right, Madam Clerk?
Yes, I
Please
can look it
confirm.
up and I'll let
Okay.
you know.
Well, I mean, that's what I was confused about, why it's in there like that. Right, so it looks like it's an amendment on that resolution.
All set, Councilman?
So what, so if this needs to be approved because we have another item on the agenda coming up for a,
Well, if we don't approve all the trucks in the city, they can't operate anymore. But we need to approve this, so all the trucks in the city remain in business.
we're just approving this resolution that is outdated now and expiring?
Correct, like every 6
Where's
months,
the expiration date on there?
we've been extending every 6 months.
I mean, it doesn't explain, this backup doesn't explain what this is all about, because I was looking at that. But anyway,
So this is the first time we approved it was on October 11, 2022. So now this will expire probably October 11, 2024. As it, we do it, we extend it every 6 months.
So the very first one was approved on March 8th, 2022. That was for 45 days.
Mhm.
On October 11th of 2022, that's when it was amended
For 6
to
months?
extend it to 6 months.
180
right?
days.
And the current one that we have would expire September 30th.
So which
So
is
we
next
want to be
Monday.
proactive, right?
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Any more
Okay.
discussion?
Council Pro Tem.
Yes, sir. Councilman?
How can we get by this, like, Councilwoman Melanowski Maxwell said, put this aside and until we get this ordinance that's approved by the planning commission? I mean, I haven't seen it. I mean, can we get it to where this is only in effect for 30 days or something, or, and then we can look at the ordinance and see how the new ordinance applies to this?
Well, the thing is, even if you approve this, whenever he brings the ordinance in, we'll discuss that and we have to approve whatever we approve or not approve that ordinance.
But
I would say instead of like approving it now for 30 days now, and we change something in the ordinance that's gonna push it another couple of months, then we have to approve this again. Because if we don't approve this, those
So-
businesses is
So
basically. have to
anybody,
stop
okay, if we
operating.
approve this, so anybody that has a license now will be extended 6 months.
Correct.
And so they won't fall into the new criteria for until 6 months. So they get, whatever the new, whatever the new ordinance is, won't apply to them for 6 months.
No, we're extending the resolution. We're not extending the license. Once we have a new ordinance, they have to obey, they have to go under the new criteria with the new ordinance. Once the
Right,
license.
immediately?
Once their license expired, I believe, right?
Right, yes, and we've had a study session on this already, first reading on this already, so we've gone through the question.
I think Council Winston was absent that day.
Okay, I think you're right.
So basically, you're not extending the licenses, we're extending the resolution we had to have temporary food trucks in the city
All right.
until we have the ordinance. Any more discussion? I see none. Whoever's in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? The ayes have it. Moving on to new business, 13A, temporary food truck, tent cart license renewal application, Smash D.
Council Pro Tem.
Councilman Saab,
I move that the Dearborn Heights City Council approve the temporary food cart license renewal application for Smash as outlined in 13A.
Second.
a motion by Councilman Saab, seconded by Councilman Breyer. Any discussion? I hear none. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Moving on to 13B, business renewal, business license renewal, West Financial Auto Group.
Council
Council
Chair.
Pro Tem.
Councilwoman Milanowski Maxwell.
I move that the Dearborn Heights City Council approve the business license for renewal for West Financial Auto Group located at 5952 North Telegraph as outlined in 13B.
Second.
A motion by Councilwoman Malinowski Maxwell, seconded by Councilman Saab. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Moving on to 13C, business license renewal, Anthony's All Car and Truck Sales LLC.
Council Chair.
Councilman Saab.
I move that Dearborn Heights City Council approve the business license renewal for Anthony's All Car and Truck Sales LLC at 20032 Van Born as outlined in 13C.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Saab, seconded by Councilwoman Malinowski Maxwell. Any discussion?
Council Chair?
Councilman,
Pro Tem?
what's up? Yeah, by Council.
Do we have the ordinance director on Zoom?
Madam Clerk, do we have Mr. Dishram on Zoom? Director?
Yes, Council Chair.
Go ahead, Councilman. How you doing, Director?
Good, how are you, sir?
Good, thank you.
Good evening, Director. We have a few license renewals for auto-related businesses. Are you familiar with the four that are on the agenda?
Vaguely, yes.
Do you know if we have any issues with Anthony's all car and truck sales on Van Born Road?
Not,
I'm sorry, Director. We couldn't hear you. Director, are you still there?
yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We didn't hear you.
I apologize. I'm having a problem with my internet connection. I'm not that I am currently aware of. We don't have any pending issues to my knowledge.
Council Pro Tem, a few meetings back, there were some issues, and I thought that we were going to have building and ordinance inspect any license renewal, automotive related or anything else. We had an issue with one that after they went in there, they found all kinds of violations. And
I believe, yeah, because Councilman Saab came up with the resolution about auto, but are we following the criteria now, Madam Clerk?
Yeah.
Councilman Saab?
I'd refer that to Councilman Winslow. I was actually waiting on a list to come true to make sure the legality of it was right, and we're still waiting to get that back.
So we were hoping.
We're held up, so I just didn't want to hold up the businesses any further.
when's this license expire? These are licenses.
Oh, they're in your backup.
This one expires on October 17th,
Right.
Councilman.
I mean, is it asking too much to do a quick flyby on some of these businesses before we just blindly, approve a license renewal? I mean, has anybody ever seen, does anybody know where, this might be a fine establishment, might be mint condition.
It's the old Mickey Cooper's.
I mean, Councilman, we already approved one. So I don't know if,
Well, the one we approved, I've been by there several times and that place is immaculate. West Financial Auto Group. I'm just saying, what's taking so long to have this? Because, this is a pet peeve of mine is, auto related. We've had some I've had so many calls about 3 or 4 places, I'm not gonna name any names, in the last month. And we're looking into them.
Councilman, just looking at those licenses, like the one after this one expires next Monday. So if we don't renew it today,
Well, why are they waiting for the last minute to?
That was,
I mean, that's just to do with.
1 week to go in and applying for a license renewal.
I mean, I think, no, they've been, Madam Clerk, want to say
Yes,
something?
we were holding them. They gave good faith effort.
Did they?
We could not proceed until we got the go ahead.
Verification from Councilman Saab.
Right, and we're still waiting, but he gave us the go ahead to continue the
Uh,
process that we are.
Councilman, I would say let's approve whatever. Let's vote on these today. And if you have any requests, please put an end for the ordinance department for the new ones for next time. Any more discussion?
No. Council Chair,
Director?
if I may, really quickly, you have to understand too, I get the notice for these on late afternoon Thursday. Makes it a little difficult to check them. I don't mind looking at them, and if there's a concern that is raised by a council member or resident, I would anticipate they would reach out to us instead of holding on to that information. So just something to keep in mind.
Thank you, Director.
Council Pro Tem, I mean,
Councilman.
this is, we're not doing our job right now. By approving any of these things here, we're proving them blind. It's our job. These are, we have people that live around all these businesses. Some of these businesses are so nice and their landscape is great. Some emit odors that people complain about. And I don't know, I mean, I'm not comfortable. I've asked for this inspection and I've asked for over a year for additional ordinance officers. And this could be one of the jobs for these new ordinance officers, but unfortunately, the administration has dragged their feet and we might have one new one after approving 3 months and months ago. I don't, I mean, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm voting no on this only because on all the rest of them, because I'm mad that we don't have extra ordinance officers to take care of these issues. We should have a department that takes care of license renewal. That should be a major function of the ordinance department, not to wait to have they should have a guy in there or a girl say, okay, clerk, give me a list of licenses that are going to be up in the next 2 months. And they go out and check those places. So.
Thank you, Councilman. I think they should, and I think I think we're waiting for Councilman Saab to finalize his resolution, so they'll have a better idea how to proceed. Any more discussion? Let's take this to a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
Madam Clerk, please take.
Hassan Ahmad,
Yes.
Denise Malinowski Maxwell,
Yes.
Nancy Breyer,
Yes.
Hassan Saab,
Yes.
Robert Constant,
Yes.
and Tom Wenzel.
No.
Motion carries.
Motion carries. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Moving on to 13D, business license renewal, Cooper's Garage.
Council
Council Chair,
Councilman Constant.
move that the Dearborn Heights City Council approve the business license renewal for Cooper's Garage at 21244 Van Born, Dearborn Heights is outlined in 13D.
Second.
A motion by Councilman Constant, seconded by Councilman Saab. Any discussion?
Council Pro Tem.
Councilman Wenzel?
Cooper's Garage has been a staple on the south end of Dearborn Heights on Van Born Road for a long, long time, and they're very good, close relations with everyone in the community. But to stay fast with my previous comments, I'm going to vote no just to prove my point.
Thank you, Councilman.
Council Pro Tem.
Councilwoman?
Normally, I would agree with you, but there've been recent things that have happened there where people have had their vehicles there. They weren't done properly and they're not getting any satisfaction, so I can't go with it.
With this one?
Yes.
This is
Council
September.
Pro Tem,
Councilman?
I am close personal friends with the owner of this garage. So I might have to remove myself from voting on this. I don't know if it's unethical or.
I don't know if, are you getting any, monetary benefits?
Y'all know Bill Cooper.
Yeah, I mean.
Just
You are?
recuse yourself,
Well,
Just.
I'm gonna.
I
excuse
see
myself.
this one will expire next Monday. Okay, let's take this to a vote. Whoever's in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Oppose?
No.
Madam Clerk, please take roll call.
Denise Malinowski Maxwell,
Yes.
Hassan Saab,
Yes.
Hassan Ahmad,
Yes.
Tom Wenzel,
Abstain.
Nancy Breyer,
No.
Robert Constant.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Moving on to 13E, business license renewal, X Drive Auto Sales.
Council Chair. Pro Tem.
Councilman Saab.
Move the Dearborn Heights City Council approve the business license for X Drive Auto Sales at 6528 North Telegraph as outlined in 13E.
Second.
A motion by Councilman Saab, seconded by Councilwoman Malinowski Maxwell. Any discussion?
Council Pro Tem.
Councilman Wenzel?
I just wanted to explain, I'm gonna vote no on this. By us approving these businesses, it's not fair to Cooper's Garage. It's not fair to, West Autos Financing that take care of these businesses that are immaculate, like Cooper's and West Auto, that we're approving something that is sight unseen. That's another reason. I mean, I respect these business owners and it's just not fair that these guys keep their establishments up immaculately and then we're blindly approving other people. So that's why I make that comment.
Councilwoman?
In all fairness, all of us had these addresses ahead of time and we could have went there ourselves personally, and looked at them. You know, and you don't know if we didn't, we might have drove by. These are in the community. I'm familiar with them. And yeah, as far as looking at them ahead of time, we all have the addresses.
Thank you, Councilwoman. And for all fairness too, I mean, we don't have any criteria or ordinance not to renew them. I mean, they supplied their documents, they paid their dues, they're entitled. But we can ask the Director Dishon probably if he can keep an eye for the businesses we approved today, if you don't mind, Director. Any more discussion?
Council Chair.
Councilman?
Yeah, we're just renewing the business license. Usually typically what we've done is if the taxes are paid, water bills paid, we renew their license to do business. If they've got an ordinance violation or ordinance violations, that's, unless we enact an ordinance saying you can't have a licensed business if you have a ordinance violation, it's a separate matter.
Thank you, Councilman. Any more discussion? Let's take this to a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
Madam Clerk?
Hassan Ahmad,
Yes.
Nancy Breyer,
Yes.
Robert Constant,
Yes.
Denise Malinowski Maxwell,
Yes.
Hassan Saab,
Yes.
and Tom Wenzel.
No.
Motion carries.
Motion carries. Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. Moving on to agenda item 14, comments from council members. I'll go first, I guess. I'm the council chair today. As we conclude this council meeting, I feel compelled to address a matter that weighs heavily on our hearts and conscience. The ongoing Israeli aggression in Lebanon and Gaza has brought great suffering, tearing apart families and claiming innocent lives, including those of children. Each statistic represents a person, a beloved family member, a friend, a neighbor. As representatives of our community, we cannot remain silent in the face of such tragedy. We must stand up and call upon our federal government to take immediate action to end these attacks on civilians. We need to demand that the lives of innocent people be classified over political agendas. The images of destruction, the cries of the bereaved, the stories of those affected should ignite a fire within us all. It is our moral duty to advocate for peace, justice, and the protection of human rights for everyone, regardless of where they live. Let us be a voice for the voiceless, a beacon of hope for those who are suffering. We must unite in our commitment to ensuring that the cycle of violence comes to an end and a path to peace is forged. Together, let's call for an end to this aggression and work toward a future where all people can live without fear and indignity. Finally, I would like to thank Councilman Wenzel, all council members, Madam Clerk, Madam Treasurer, for a successful city employee appreciation picnic. I dearly enjoyed along with my family, and I'm looking forward for next year's picnic. Any more comments from council members?
Yes.
Councilman Saab?
Council Pro Tem, I just want to echo a few things and before I make a statement on what I want to make a statement on the Middle East, I just want to clear something up for the record and something going on with the city and to all the residents and everything. The administration has been going around saying that the council has defunded the police department. And I just want to put out there just for the record, for anybody, to the administration, the chief here, I'd like to give you one of these papers if you don't have one, chief. This is the first time in the city's history. This is the most expensive budget we've passed in the police department's history was this year with less police officers. There was a mistake that was made by the police department when they brought the budget in here. The only thing that we cut out of the police budget was $75,000 in overtime. And we said, if you need it, the minutes are available and the video is available. You come back and ask for it, we'll approve it. This thing that's going around that we defunded the police department, telling police officers not to talk to council, associate with council members, email council members, I think is just absolutely absurd. I mean, to make the police department political is an issue of its own. But I had our awesome controller here today print me the past 3 years if anybody wants this. And I was asking for a laptop attachment to the tablet. I wanted to put this up, or I want to enter this on the record. Last year's budget was $14,958,000. This year's budget that was passed was $15,889,000. The fact is that we did not defund the police. We did not, even the jobs they removed, they came back through the correct process and were hired back. So in no way, whatever the mayor keeps telling people in public or anybody that's saying that we're defunding the police, that's absolutely false. A matter of fact, I think we've approved in the past 4 months more than we have approved in any single quarter of a year on new equipment for the police department, which included flock cameras. And there's a resolution coming at the next meeting. It's gonna be over $1 million going through for the police department. So for them to say that we defunded the police department, it's absolutely false. And anybody would like a printout of this, I would gladly support and give them one or email you one, whatever you'd like. Appreciate it. Second thing is I had the honor yesterday to do a ride along with the city of Dearborn, police department. I want to give a special thank you to Police Chief Isa Shaheen, Commander Bazzi, Lieutenant Sergio Popescu, and the great officer I rode with who's been on the force for 1 year. His name is Officer Sanad Atallah. Honest to God, it was a great experience. Walked through the police department, met some great people, the equipment they have, technology they have, how they're a community police department, not out to no politics there. Yesterday I seen what they were doing in the car, pulling people over, giving people warnings, impounding vehicles, reckless drivers. Did a great job. And the only reason I say this, that I went to Dearborn, is I requested a ride along with our police department and it was turned down. Saying that it was, I needed a background check or security clearance. And then it was that they took it away because of CJI violations. They were gonna look into it 2 months. And the reason I requested the ride along was for public safety. I wanted to ride along with the police officer, involve our chief, the police department, to do a video before school had started, to put out there that there was a zero tolerance policy for speeders around school zones and everything, because that's the main issue we have is safety around schools. And that was denied. Councilwoman Malinowski, Maxwell her height was denied. So I took it upon myself because the chief emailed me over the weekend saying that last week that we're not doing ride-alongs in the city of Dearborn Heights. If I wanted to, I can go to another department. And I did just that, and it was a great experience. We have a great neighboring city police department, and I hope, Mr. Swope, you change that thought and you give council the opportunity to ride with these police officers and not make it political. Because honestly, these police officers do reach out to us and tell us what they need. And everything they've ever come to me and what they needed, I put it forward and it's passed unanimously. We are not here against the police. We are not here after the police. We're here for the police and we'll make sure we have the best police department there is in the area. Absolutely, absolutely. I'm gonna absolutely give you absolutely. And just for that aspect, Mr. Swope's email did also say that he wants to make sure that he's not in any violations of the law. He doesn't get sanctioned, and I've given him that opportunity.
Okay, so I'll respond to a couple things. Talking about the budget. So, we do appreciate the budget numbers. But we also do appreciate the fact that our officers are doing a great job with less officers, right? And in the police department, we need more officers. And we have access to more officers, but the budget doesn't allow us to hire those officers, okay? So therefore, even though the budget is whatever numbers you gave us, basically what happened was you took away positions from us, right? So when the community wants more officers, I was able to go out and get more officers, but we can't hire the officers, okay? So the money, when you took away the positions, the money went away with it.
What positions did we take away?
We used to have 103 employees.
What budget did you present to us with the amount of officers?
I wasn't part of the budget process, but with that being, because I wasn't the chief of police then, but with that being said, we had 103 positions in the police department last year, right? Some of them were vacant. Okay, so our job was to fill those positions. And when we came into budget season, all those positions were taken away. We're down to like 74 employees. So we could have 30 more police officers. But if that was the case, guess what our budget would be? It'd probably be close to $20 million. Right?
There's no price to safety, public safety.
Well, then I think next meeting that we put on that, we go up to 103 full-time positions at the police department and we'll have to come up with the money to, somewhere to hire those officers because we can hire them.
Absolutely.
And I think that'd be
But the
great.
last time I remember, Council Chair, I'm sorry, I
Please.
just, I
Go ahead.
want to put this on the record. Is that when I sat here at this budget meeting and I asked again after the meeting, when you're interim chief, I asked, I'm like, how many officers do we have and how many officers do you need? And you said, your exact words right there, said you're fully staffed. You think you have extra officers now at 46 it was, I think, because we asked
No,
for,
at that time, to be corrected, we had 39 officers. We said, how many? You said there's 6 in the process. Probably won't be hard for the next 6
Fully
months.
staffed compared to your budget,
no,
not my needs.
no, this is not our budget.
Right.
The police department brings us the budget.
The
What
city
we
brought you
removed from the
50,
budget,
and
chief,
you reduced it down to 45.
what is it? No, we didn't reduce numbers.
No, we
Well,
did,
here's the deal.
we did
I
the
guess we can argue
officer.
about it all day long.
We did the
But here's the
officers.
deal. I want more police officers. You want more police
Absolutely.
officers. The community wants more police officers. I have a list of police officers that have already gone through the process that I can't hire. So I think we need to hire the police
All
officers.
you have to do was put
I also have
put a motion to,
I also have dispatchers, right? No, what happens with the motions is this. Okay, you find a way to, I've been told, you find a way to pay for them, you can have
He's
them.
been told.
I've
he's
found
been
ways to
told-
pay for, I have
By
found
who?
ways to pay for things, but I have no more money. I can't get any more money from any more lines out of my budget because there's nothing
so you
left.
come for a budget amendment.
Yeah.
But who told you this information? You said you've been told.
I've been told
By-
multiple times
by-
by Councilman Ahmad, Councilman Baydoun. I mean, I've been told, you find the money and you could have the positions, right? I mean, I've been told that. I'm trying to be responsible with the budget you guys gave me. I'm not trying to be irresponsible. So when you say find the money, I'm looking at my numbers and saying, where can I take money from? Like right now, I'm working, with comptroller to say, listen, I need to take money from my overtime budget, and then I need to throw it into dispatch so I can get my dispatchers hired, right? And then I need to, try and do some cost recovery so I can then replace money to the overtime budget. Like, this is what I'm trying to do for the city, right? And it's just, I'm robbing Peter to pay Paul to then pay back Peter. And it's just, it's tough.
I asked you too, and just go back. I asked you, do we have enough dispatchers?
No.
It was 9 and yeah, everybody was saying here, when I asked you, I said, you guys took away a dispatcher. You guys, I think, went down to 9.5.
No, I think we gave 10.
10.
We're supposed to have 13.
Yeah, but the budget does not, we don't make the budget. The police department submits the budget to us, what they need. We never took away
Correct.
anything really that you're saying that we took away half of the officers. We didn't do that. Because, Madam Clerk, do you have the budget that was submitted or I actually have it. I want to put it.
The only reason we dropped it from 50 to 45 officers because there was a mistake with the budget they submitted for the
Correct.
command officers. And we didn't have a
The
balanced budget.
positions where we're not right.
So we could sit here and argue about the budget.
We're not arguing, we're just
How you see it. I think there's many ways to fix it, right? The way you see it is different than mine, but we both may be right. We both might have the path to fix it. But with that being said, you accusing me and me accusing you.
I'm not accusing you.
No, I'm just saying it isn't going to work. I think we need to work together to increase the budget because we can hire police officers. There are police officers begging to be police officers.
have
in the
enough
city of
vehicles?
Dearborn Heights. What's that?
Do we have enough vehicles to hire those
Oh,
officers?
we have plenty of vehicles.
Okay. How many extra vehicles do we have right now sitting in our lots? Do you know of any chance?
I don't know.
No,
I don't
okay.
know. But this year we don't have any money in our budget to buy any more vehicles either. So we're taking great care of our vehicles. But with that being said, there's many things that we need at the police department that we can't do. Our boiler is out, right? I mean, it's $100,000. We have no money in our capital outlay to fix our boiler.
Have you brought,
Right. Yes,
an amendment?
that was talked about.
That was talked about. Have you brought anything forward for us to approve an amendment?
No, not yet,
Well,
because the director is going out next week to take a look at the boiler. So
He's not saying, he's just saying because he's been hearing that the council defunded the police. He's just saying this is not true. We didn't defund the police. We're just working with the budget that we
well, I'm
have.
not telling anyone you defunded the police.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I did not say the chief. I did
Okay,
not.
you got-
name the
you got-
chief.
you
I
got your
said the
answer.
mayor.
Okay.
I did not say the chief. I said
Councilman,
the-
you got your answer.
Okay.
We did not say.
And then,
on the
And then let me address the other part that we talked
right
about
along.
here.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so the ride along piece. All right. So administratively, the chief of police has the right to create policy and programs and whatnot. whatnot, in the city of Dearborn Heights, right? So, I'll tell you right up front, for one, I'm not a fan of ride-alongs. I think it increases liability. Two is just because one city does it, doesn't mean it's good for another city, okay? I can't tell you how another city does their things. I can't tell you that if that city is passing their lean field services audits. But what I can tell you is any citizen who sits in our vehicle and is able to hear or see sensitive data, and we don't report that, and we don't train that person on what they can and can't do with that data, we're in violation. And so is any other city who doesn't allow, or who allows ride-alongs. So, in my opinion, ride-alongs are a liability. And, you know, with all due respect to you, Councilman Saab, because you've been super helpful. I think we've worked well together, you know, recently. But I do not need, any help with our safety plan. I think that, you know, a video that you might be able to produce, for us. We're not Dearborn. We're not going to go out and threaten our residents into compliance. We're going to go out there and we're going to do our job. Ford Road has been packed with officers all month long, hundreds and hundreds of violations. We've calmed traffic. You know, we've done a lot of things without the assistance of people riding along with the police department. And I think we're going around the right way. And, you know, maybe one day we bring back ride-alongs, but when the auditor from the state of Michigan came to our police department and we said, listen, what do you think about ride-alongs? They gave us a form that doesn't even apply to civilian police ride-alongs and said, oh yeah, you can make that work. Well, no, you can't make it work. It doesn't apply, right? So we need things to be appropriate before we do them. And we did great on our audit. We got word today, we passed it. But if we allowed ride-alongs or civilians into our station unmonitored, and I think we would fail the audit, right? And I'm not willing to do that and put the city at liability.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you very much.
Chair, just, I'm not done.
We've taken too much time.
I'm not done. I have my
Okay,
time.
are you done with the
I just
No.
want to make a remark.
Yeah, I want to make a remark too. Just for the record, Chief, when I said the video I wanted to make, that included you and your police department with the funds from council to put out a safety alert. And yes, we do have an enormous safety issue in our city. An enormous. So we're not, and if we have to threaten our residents to slow down in the city, oh, well, let it be. Because if one kid gets hurt, gets killed, we're gonna come back and say, you remember when you said that we're not gonna threaten these
Well,
residents that
I
are
think
reckless
you
driving?
wouldn't be able to blame me for the death
Okay.
of anybody because we do things appropriately, okay? We can't protect the third party, right? Yeah, I mean, it is what
We
it
can
is. If
enforce the
someone's
laws.
speeding, listen, we go out there and we do the right thing. Our officers are writing tickets. We're making arrests. Our OWI arrests are up 750%. So for you to tell me that you're gonna come back and blame me for the death of people in our city in motor vehicle accidents, that's ridiculous. It's insulting and you should be ashamed of yourself.
Okay. I'm not done yet. And then as for you saying for your civilians that we're not gonna allow civilians into the cars, I respect that. Because as an elected official, when I have officers telling us our cars are falling apart, our car frames are rusted out, the equipment we have is outdated, our vests are outdated. When I say, hey, we want to go into the police department or do a ride along, and they say, well, for liability reasons, we don't want people inside the police department. We don't want people in cars. Yesterday, when I rode along with Dearborn, that monitor, I'm sitting next to them, that monitor was like this. And they also have a thing on it where even if you looked at the monitor, you can't see it.
Hey, Councilman,
That's, and that's it with the chief.
before you move on, I think Councilwoman, she had a remark
Yeah.
because her name was mentioned. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I'm doing this because I was refused the ride along. 5 years ago, I went on an 8-hour ride along. It opened my eyes to what was really going on in the city, and it was very educational. The last thing that I wanted on that ride along is personal information. Really care less. It was more the big picture of what's happening in the city of Dearborn Heights as a whole. And so when you come to us and you say the cars are falling apart or whatever, I say, yes, I've seen that. I agree. You need 10 more cars. Let's do what we got to do to make it happen. And it's actually beneficial to the police department for us to see what they're lacking, listen to them, what they need.
I think I'm gonna reach out to Council Chair. Maybe we can set up a tour of the police department, Chief, if that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, you're more than welcome to tour the police department. Obviously, we'll have to make sure we have the correct paperwork done and training before we do that. But with that being said,
Training for what?
I mean, anytime you enter areas which are restricted, we have to make sure that you have security awareness. That's just, it's true. It's accurate.
I mean,
Any third party
we met with you guys a couple of times in the police department.
Okay.
Did we have to go through training for that?
So you have to go through, the way things are done is you need a third party form which states that if you hear or see something that's confidential.
No, I understand, but I met with you and I met with the previous chief Hart.
Right. I can't tell you what Chief Hart had you do or didn't do, but I operate the police department differently.
Okay, let's work on this paperwork then, please, if you don't mind.
Yeah, and
'Cause I
and
think we
like
need-
I said, I'm
we're gonna
not
have
a
a
fan of
tour.
ride-alongs, and chances are, while I'm the chief of police, there will never be ride-alongs.
Let's work on a tour for the police department. I think I'm gonna reach out to council chair and probably he'll send you a request. And just if you can prepare the paperwork for that, I would really appreciate it. Thank you, chief.
Council Pro Tem.
I think Councilman Saab is still.
But he's still up, the chief is still up there. I had some.
Well, we can call him back, because let me finish, because I don't want to keep going back and forth. Council Saab,
Chief, I'm all set with you.
you all set?
Yep.
Any more comments?
No, that's it.
No more comment, Council Saab?
No, I have none with the chief. No,
Okay.
I have a bunch of more comments.
Chief, yours.
Council Chair, Pro Tem, just a quick question while the chief is up.
Oh, we're gonna bring him back. We're gonna bring him back.
It's my
Oh,
time.
Okay,
Go ahead, Councilman
I was
Saab.
just checking, for clarification purposes, which, you're talking about going to the station to meet with the chief. That's what you were talking about in terms of meetings beforehand with Chief Hart? Like you've had meetings with the chief I thought he was talking more about like if you walk through the different, parts of the building or
I mean, whatever it
detective
is.
view of things, but.
I respect the protocol, so that's why I asked him to prepare whatever paperwork he needs, so we can address that. Councilman Saab, please.
I had a statement written out about what's going on overseas in Israel and let me say there's a few members in our community, quite a bit of members in our community that have actually lost loved ones over the past couple of days. And honestly, I'm gonna speak from the heart. I'm gonna read the statement. And Mr. Councilman Ahmad here mentioned a few family names. There's also the Turfees lost 2 family members. A lot of people, Bazzi's lost some family members. Baydoun's lost some family members. Saad's lost some family members. Zohair Abdel Haq behind us, former councilman, lost members. It's something that affected the city greatly. And I've always been very outspoken about war and genocide and everything. And I've always called the state of Israel a terrorist state. And I bluntly say this, and whatever repercussions or consequences come with it. My question is, I've had people reach out to me for the past couple of days saying, where's our mayor regarding this issue? Every single mayor has spoken out. The mayor did put a statement out today. But mayor, do you condone this? Your statement doesn't go either way. Do you condone Israel? Do you condone what they're doing? The statement does not make sense. And there's some residents on here that are going to talk after we're done. They have questions. But I'm speaking on behalf of myself as a Lebanese American and everybody here that a life is a life. I don't care what color you are. I don't care what religion you are. Seeing babies blown up in pieces, heads missing. What a statement. Israel is the largest sponsor state of terrorists in the world. In the world. Zionism is not Judaism. And that's what people don't understand, the two difference. Judaism is a very peaceful religion. Zionism is a cult. And that's what people don't understand. And what they're doing right now is a mass production of killing and overseas. For what? Our government is supporting this 100%. AIPAC pays every single individual that's elected into office. Pays them to kill innocent people, innocent lives. None of these countries that they're attacking and killing has ever attacked America. But yet we spend billions of dollars of our tax money here in every single municipality and city that goes back overseas to kill innocent people in the name of what? Our special interests? What special interests do we have? Killing people? Killing people's kids? Killing generations? Ethnically cleansing people? When is it going to stop? When is it going to stop? That's the question. And my question is to the mayor, do you condone this? Do you condone the state of Israel? Do you believe? And this is honestly, I'm asking on behalf of a family.
Okay.
Honest to God. And I think the family's on here and they want to speak. Thank you. And I yield my time.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor, would you like to respond? No. Any more, Councilwoman?
I'd
Please.
like to ask that we have a moment of silence.
Another moment of silence, everybody, please. Thank you very much. Any more comments from council members?
Council Chair,
Councilman?
I'd like to echo what everyone has said here. I'd like to thank Councilman Wenzel and everyone who came and participated in one of Councilman Wenzel's family fun days. Someone there, both husband and wife were city employees. You know, recommend that we make it a annual event and we include everyone. We appreciate our city employees. I heard on the radio a quote from the Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, trying to justify the unprovoked bombing of southern Lebanon, that the people living there have missiles in their garage and some other rhetoric. It's just terrible. Many of the Lebanese Americans that came here in the 80s were forced to leave their homeland and either that or join the Israeli army or go to prison. And it's happening again, this unprovoked, indiscriminate bombing and the killing of civilians. I call on everyone to contact their elected officials, especially their federal elected officials, and demand an end to the funding, millions and millions of dollars going to the state of Israel.
Thank you, Councilman. Thank you very much. Any more comments?
I do have one more comment.
Please.
I was hoping tonight we would get around to picking someone to do the concrete work so that possibly we could start this year as opposed to next year.
Councilwoman, it's not on the agenda, so there's nothing, administration did not bring us anything to approve. Any more comments from council members?
Council Pro Tem?
Councilman?
Thank you. I have a few things to talk about. One is coming up, this October 14th, there is the second anniversary of the tragic death of Joey Smith being killed on his bicycle at the corner of Annapolis and Party Street. And on October 14th, there'll be a second year memorial at that corner, and everyone's invited. Katie Smith, Joey's mother, wants everyone to show up for this event. It's from, I believe, 8 p.m. till 11. I'll get the next couple meetings. I'll get the exact time. Tragic death of Joey Smith, and let's not forget about our public safety for our children. I mean, we talk about it when something bad happens. This has to be top of mind all of the time. Every meeting there should be some progress on public safety, especially with our children. We've got a public safety commission. They should have a spot on the agenda every time to give us an update on what's going on as far as public safety goes. It's really important, and it seems like it's like almost like flooding. It's only a topic when something bad happens. I just want to say God bless Joey Smith and his family. On another sad note, this is Suicide Prevention Month. And there's a lot of people who have lost family members due to suicide. I just wanted to, there's so many of our veterans that are succumb to suicide because of different issues. And it's a very bad thing that's going on in our country. And we put that aside. It shouldn't be just a 1 month deal. It should be 12 months a year. It's a really serious issue. On a lighter note, I don't know if anybody from the fire department is going to speak about it. Next month, October, is Fire Prevention Month. And I'm sure the fire department has several things planned. They've got an open house, and it's on October 5th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the fire station on Beach Daily and Ford Road. And I'm sure in the next week or so, we're going to hear a lot more about that from our fire department. The great job our fire department does for our city. Chili cook-off they had a couple of weeks ago. They hired, some more firefighters. We have the best fire department in the state or probably the country, and let's give them everything they deserve. They help our community out so much, and this is one of the things that they do for the community. Let's support our fire department. And speaking about support, the Crestwoods Community for a Brighter Future bond is coming up. And I think it's something that everyone in the Crestwood School District should vote yes on. It's a very, very needed bond. and I urge everyone to vote yes on that bond. Last meeting, we approved a $500,000 budget for engineering on a new fire station. And I'm all for that, but we approved $500,000 for something that we don't even know it exists. We haven't seen any plans. We don't even know of a site. The site for the new fire department is top secret. I guess what's gonna happen, it's gonna be built behind curtains and then it's gonna be revealed someday. You know, I mean, I don't understand why this is a $10 million plus project and no one tells anybody anything about it. We're the city council, we're in charge of the money for the city and we don't even know anything about it. Not one of us know anything about it. And that's the honest truth. No one could tell you at all where this thing's gonna be built, if it's gonna be built, what the time frame is as far as the money, the grant money we're getting. Does it expire? We don't know anything about it. It's top
Councilman,
secret.
Ali Deeb is on, maybe we can ask him that question. You wanna do that?
Well, yeah, I'll let them do it, yeah.
Madam Clerk, can you unmute Mr. Deeb?
Tell us where it's gonna be built.
Maybe he can give us an update. Mr. Deeb, are you with us?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Council Chair, as Councilman Wenzel indicated, last council meeting, you approved the receipt of a grant for the engineering part of the fire station. That's not construction. This is the engineering part. So you authorized the administration to sign the agreement for the receipt of that money. So that money is going to go to investigate the sites to select a construction, to do the preliminary engineering. I'm sorry, I'm recovering from surgery, so my voice is not as good.
Oh, sorry to hear that. I hope you feel better.
Thank you. So that's what we're waiting for. Now that we have the agreement in place, we will use the money to investigate the site, preliminary engineering, select the site and do the design work. So yes, you will be involved every step of the way. Before I sign an agreement with an engineering company, I will have to bring it over to you for approval. So there will be a site selection, site investigation, preliminary engineering work to make sure the site works, and then the design. That's what the $500,000 for. So as far as I know, there is no top secret anything. This is only engineering selection. This is just engineering work. And all we did is we accepted the grant that Rashida Tlaib got us.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Deeb.
Council Director Deeb, can you give us the one or two sites that are under consideration?
So working with the fire department, we narrowed down the area that will provide the proper response time for the fire station. So we're working with also, three sites actually were preliminary looked at. One was the site on Beach Daily across from, it's actually a property owned by the County of Wayne. That is across from the maintenance entrance, just north of Warren Avenue on the east side, which is a property owned by Wayne County. Site 2 was the inside across the street, so inside the golf course in an area that is not needed for golf operation, but is level. Site 3 was Warren Avenue, just west of Beach Daily in the grass area outside the. So all three sites were they're still on a preliminary list. Nothing was in stone yet. Again, the reason for that is I need to do preliminary engineering to find out if the site is appropriate. What I don't want to do is build a site that is problematic like the site that we currently have on Beach Daily.
Thank you, Mr. Deeb.
Well, thank you. That is not top secret anymore. I'm glad I asked.
Yeah,
No one was volunteering that information for months and months and months. And that's something I think that should have been brought forward as soon as those three sites were selected. It should have been made public to our residents and especially everyone here concerned. And can you give us an update where I've got you here? I didn't plan on talking about the roof repairs on the fire stations. Are they done? Are they finished?
No, the roof repairs, while I was gone, the council asked a consultant to prepare or to obtain bids. And, the consultant did, they prepared specifications, and then we actually had proposals from, multiple contractors. They were given to me when I came back, and I reviewed them. I believe, the proposal or the specifications prepared is extensive. I do not recommend that we do what the consultant was asked to do. Basically, they were given they were asked to prepare a full replacement, a full roof replacement, which is a 15-year bondable roof on a building that is I expect to be out and demoed in less than 3. So spending close to $500,000 on a building that I need to demo in 3 years is not wise. I asked the consultant to turn over the paperwork. I reviewed the proposals. I like to present my own proposal, which is not a full-fledged roof replacement, but a watered-down version, a 3-year fix, as opposed to a 15-year bondable full replacement, deck replacement, and come back and demo the building.
Thank you, Mr. Dean. Councilman?
I'm a little confused because like 3 months ago, it was brought to the city council for an emergency next day repairs. And that was gonna happen the next day. And here we are like 3 months later, and we don't even have a contractor yet. And once a contractor is selected, you know, material's gotta be ordered. And I've been in the construction business for my whole life. And this is taking way too long. Our firefighters came here and they made a presentation how bad the situation was, the black mold, and you know, I didn't see it for myself. I just took it for granted. I heard that there were some situations that have been cleared up since then. But I mean, this was something when this firefighter came here and he got everyone's emotions up so bad, and it was like all 7 of us sitting up here said, "Go, let's do this tomorrow." Yeah, and now it's like 3 months later. It's like, you know, what's going on? You know,
Councilman Wenzel, as you recall, I didn't make that presentation.
I know you didn't.
I heard about it afterwards, but my consultant was asked by council to prepare a roof replacement specs and obtain prices, and they did. Again, I reviewed them. I don't recommend spending $500,000 or close to it to fully replace a roof on a building and then demo it in 2 to 3 years. I think that will be a huge waste of money. I can do a repair, a much less expensive repair that will guarantee roof leak not to happen in the next 2 to 3 years. We all know we have to replace the building. I mean, that's a given. So to spend $500,000 and put a 15-year roof on a building that is designed to be demoed is not good use of our money.
That's correct.
So-
Thank you, Mr. D. Why don't you come to us at the next meeting with an emergency repair item that we can approve or look at the next meeting?
A lot less expensive than the $300,000 to $500,000.
Well, I know because I know we got these bids or the specs designed or developed really quick for this a couple months ago.
Yes, Councilman, they just use a typical roof replacement specs, and they brought in contractor. That's not their fault. The consultant was asked to do that. So they use a typical specification, single ply EPDM roof for a building that size, and that's what we received. So if I was there, I would have recommended from day one not to use that. We're not replacing the roof. If I was gonna stay in that building for the next 15 years, absolutely, that's the right way to do it. But this is a building that is designed to be demoed.
Can you bring us something by the next meeting of your proposal?
Sure.
For the health and safety of our firefighters, we need to get this done as soon as possible. God bless them.
I agree.
Thank you, Mr. Deep. I've got one more thing.
Hey, Councilman.
Few months ago, a nonprofit that I run called Jamie's Kids, I'm president of it, and affiliated with Family Fund. We put on several events in the last year for the public free to the public, all kinds of entertainment, food and everything. And a few months ago, we decided that we were going to do something for the city of Dearborn Heights. And Jamie's kids decided to start to organize a Dearborn Heights employee family picnic. And we did some groundwork on it. We started talking to some different people. And a month or so ago, I had an idea of approaching the city council, our clerk, our treasurer, to see if they'd be interested in helping Jamie's kids promote this event. And they were kind enough to agree to help promote this event. And we had the event this past Saturday, and it was a really nice success. You know, we had representatives from just about every department in the city there. And I don't like to talk negative, but I've got to defend myself in this situation, myself and Jamie's kids and our family fund affiliate. There was an email sent out at the end of last week by the administration, and in a summary, it said, you know, there is no group more deserving of a relaxing afternoon with friends, coworkers, and family than the dedicated employees of the city of Dearborn Heights. And it went on and said a couple other things. It says, when members of my staff reached out to the organizers, there was not organizers, one organizer, just me. I'm the only one that communicated with the administration. No one else communicated with the administration at all. Any donations were sought after by myself. And at no time did I say the city of Dearborn Heights is sponsoring this. I said it was Jamie's kids. All the donations I've gotten were made out to Jamie's kids. And the administration continued in their email and said, when members of my staff reached out to the organizer to ask a few questions to document the necessary items, we were removed from all communications and no longer responded to. That is like a biggest lie.
Yes.
I've got a chain of emails and communications that I can document. This all started, I called the administration, and a member of the office there said, this is a great idea. We tried to do this last year, but we didn't have enough time or enough people to help out. We think it's a really good idea. You know, what can we do? And what do we need to do? And I said, well, first of all, I've got the city council, the clerk, the treasurer involved in promoting it. I want to know if your office is interested in promoting it. And they said, well, let me find out. And I said, well, we have to know within 36 hours because we're going to start our promotion campaign. They said, okay, we'll let you know. So 36 hours went by, 48 hours went by. I believe like 3 or 4 days went by. And I sent an email out and I said, well, I'm sorry that you decided not to participate. I'm sure you have your reasons and I'm sure they're justified. That being said, we're putting on this event. We still need donations of food and raffle items. And a few days later, I got a response back and said, sorry, we didn't get back with you. We still want to be part of this. We think it's a great idea. All this is documented in my emails. I can give anybody a copy. We had family problems. We weren't able to get back with you. You said you need food, or what kind of food do you need? So I said, okay, well, I want them to be part of this. I'm not going to say, hey, bring all the food. I said, you can bring desserts. And that's the last communication.
Can we make it festival?
No,
Just for fairness for everybody.
This was the last communication ever between us. I didn't break anyone off like it says in the thing. The members of my staff reached out to the organizer. They asked them a few questions. And I was removed, the administration was removed from all communications and no longer responded to. It was them that didn't respond to me. I don't blame anyone for not coming. You don't want to come, that's fine. But when you start telling lies about me and my nonprofit, I've got to speak up. And that's just the way I am. I'm not out here to make anybody look bad. My job is to make people happy. And I just had to speak out on this. And I was really, really upset when I seen this. And this email was sent out to all city employees, every city employee in Dearborn Heights from the administration, telling these lies.
Thank you, Councilman. It was a beautiful picnic. It was a beautiful thought, and it was for the appreciation for all city staff. It wasn't for us. It was for the city staff. So I do thank you for that thought. I do thank you for your efforts, and I hope we can do it again. Any more comments from council members?
Pro Tem?
Mayor?
Okay, again, there was a misleading statement that was made. We did ask, and I was actually, my chief of staff talked to Councilman Winslow. I was in the office when she was talking to him. And she did ask him, I was standing right there when he was in communication with my chief of staff. She asked him, we need to know who's actually bringing the food. Most municipalities, no, you cannot solicit money for the city employees for city events. You know, I know Mr. Farina is working on the Civics Association, that we can do that, the nonprofit, but we cannot go to entities within the city or anywhere. And I did talk to several mayors that, you know, in the Western Conference of Western Wayne and the DCC, and they said it's illegal. You can't solicit money. And I know there was a couple of entities in the city that were asked to sponsor this event, and it's illegal. We can't do that. So I just wanted the information before we do this event, and that's all I asked for. And it wasn't Jamie's kids, as you said, that paid for this event. I know there was a sponsor that paid a lot of money or donated a lot to this event. And again, it was not disclosed to the city, so we can go do the proper thing to make sure that we were in compliance. That's all it was. So I don't want to go back and forth, but I want to protect the city. I did consult with the attorney, and I did consult with other city officials to make sure that we're doing something legally. And I was told that you cannot do that.
Thank you, Mayor.
Council
Thank
Pro
you.
Tem, just, you know,
Keep going.
no, I say the only time I talked on the phone was the very first conversation I had. Never, ever again did we talk on the phone. And that there was never on the phone who's bringing the food. Never.
Thank you,
And listen,
Councilman.
one more thing. I understand the mayor's concerns, but that's something between him and me, not the whole city, every city employee in Dearborn Heights. I got so many calls saying, is it canceled? This email is misunderstanding. There was no reason for him to involve every city employee when he had an issue with me. It should have just been between me and him. And for some reason, I don't know why, maybe you could tell us why he sent it out to every city employee.
Council Chair, again, I'm going to protect the city, and I'm going to do everything to protect the city and employees. And that's what I did.
Whatever.
So, and you know what? You didn't consult the attorney, Councilman, so
Thank you,
just
Mayor.
went on your own.
Councilman, thank you.
All right, thank
Any
you.
more comments from council members?
Well, I want to thank everyone that showed up.
Thank you,
You know,
Councilman.
the council,
Do you have any-
Judge Turfy, everyone. Our clerk who stayed to the very end cleaning up.
Thank you,
Nancy
Councilman.
Breyer stayed to the end.
Let's move on. Announcement from city officials. Madam Clerk, please.
Good evening, honorable council members. Guess what? We got an election coming up.
We do?
Yeah. The fifth one for us for the year. Okay. So the clerk's office has been extremely busy preparing for the November 5th election. We thank you for our residents, our administration, our council members for your understanding and patience. And we're going to ask for that through November 5th. Okay. Currently we are preparing, or they're just about ready. About 6,700 absentee ballots will be bulk mailed to this Thursday, and the city's drop boxes, which are located here at City Hall, at the Justice Center, at the JFK Junior Library, and at the Ray, will be opened on Thursday. So you can drop your absentee ballot once you have voted into any one of the drop boxes. The ballots are picked up every Monday through Thursday. Or you can put it in the mail. It's prepaid postage now. The AV ballots will also be available here on Thursday at City Hall from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. every Monday through Thursday. Additionally, those interested in an AV ballot, if you haven't applied already, can apply. The easiest way to do it is apply online at michigan.gov/vote. You can check your voter registration there. Once you get your ballot and you can see that it was issued, when it was returned, it's all documented through the state. In addition, we have early voting this year. And it begins on Saturday, October 26th. It'll be held daily from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. through Sunday, November 3rd at the Canfield Center. In addition, we had the League of Women Voters drop off some paper and federal information. It's at our counter. They will be dropping off the local information on Monday for the local candidates. And information is also available on their website, which is vote411.org. So get ready.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Thank you.
As always, great job. Any more announcement from city officials?
Yes, Council Chair.
Go ahead.
Tim. We had a presentation to the Planning Commission on our short-term rental ordinance, Airbnbs. Councilman Saab and Baydun pointed out, we have about at least 304 short-term rentals, Airbnbs in the city of Dearborn Heights. And as one planning commissioner pointed out, we have two of the top children's hospitals in the country around our area. Sometimes people use these to be able to attend hospital visits and things like that. It passed the commission, so once we get the minutes, we'll bring it towards the council.
Thank you, Mr. Farina.
Council
Any more, Mayor?
So, I was in a meeting, yesterday actually with, DCC and, it's the Downriver Community Conference. They have a company called Stantec. They're actually trying to help us with the flooding issue at the Ecorse Creek. I know I spoke about that several months ago. So what they're doing right now, they're going through phases. You have the mile program that they're doing right now, trying to, fix some of the issues with the creek. So tomorrow, somebody's presenting, so they have a PowerPoint to let the residents know what's actually going on and what the DCC and Stantec's doing. So they're from out of state. They're gonna be here tomorrow at 6. They'll be at the Ecorse.
We're gonna be at the Ecorse Commission meeting.
Yeah.
So the presentation at the Ecorse.
3335 yeah.
It's gonna be at the board,
Beach Daily.
room for, was it, Westwood?
Westwood Community School District's board office.
So they have a PowerPoint
3335.
presentation and they're presenting something. I've already seen the presentation. It's amazing. So now they're gonna present it to the commission, whoever wants to come tomorrow. And after that, they're gonna actually roll it to the residents. They're gonna do a town hall, like forum, try to get as many residents as possible from around the creek, just to let them know that what they're doing. And one thing that was positive yesterday, they talked about different phases. So I know that there's different phases they're talking about with the creek. You know, the Wayne County has $10 million. You know, they can't say they're dredging it. They're actually trying to clear some of the debris from the creek for the $10 million. But also there's other phases that Stantec is proposing. And they have, it's actually pretty lengthy process. They're talking about, you know, building codes that we might have to change, you know, to go above what the state requirement. And the reason why is you can actually get more grant funding from the federal government. So if you have certain things, the federal government will give you more money. There's some communities that are getting millions of dollars in funding for water mitigation infrastructure because they have tighter building code requirements. So I just got that yesterday, that presentation, a 3-hour presentation. Also Romulus is working with us. They're trying to see if they can also build something on their end to make sure that not too much water coming through Dearborn Heights. So they got different communities working together right now, part of the DCC and also the CWW. And again, tomorrow's presentation is going to be a small percentage is what's going to be done, but it highlights everything that we need to do. So just stay tuned. I hope everybody makes it to tomorrow's meeting, but that's going to roll to all the residents who are interested.
Thank you, Mayor. Have you got any update from the county about their cleanup? Like, how far are they? They didn't get to Dearborn Heights yet.
No, not yet. They actually met with a lot of residents, one-on-ones, and they did send cards to the residents who were affected. There's a lot of things that came into play. There's people that put fences up, in the easement. So the county has to bring heavy equipment to clear some of the area. So they're working on a lot of details. So those fences have to come out, and they're trying to, figure out if they do pull those fences out, who's got to put the fences back up, even though it's built on a county easement. So this is some of the stuff that has to be worked out with the attorneys, ours and their attorneys.
Thank you, Mayor.
To go further on that, the time is 6:00 tomorrow night at 3335 South Beach Daily. The mayor's been working on it, Ali Deeb has been working on it frantically, and myself, and I understand his name, the guy from,
Somewhere?
Annapolis South, the House of Representatives, he will be there as well. Canadar.
Okay.
And he's coming. We have people from a
Okay.
lot of groups that will be representing there. And the presentation we expect to see tomorrow night should be an hour-long PowerPoint. And as I said, a lot of people are involved in this. Stan Tech is one of the ones that the mayor has been working with. And we hope to see some people show up,
I hope so.
and they will tell us about that 1 mile process that they hope to do here in Dearborn Heights. And to continue with the problem with the people waiting to have their yards done. Apparently, it's not in the title work, but there are easements at the back of all the properties of at least 221 residents in Dearborn Heights that they can come in, and your fences have to come down, your sheds. They may not be put back by them. I think the group of the River Detroit group, they want to furnish seed afterward, Friends of the Detroit River. So all of those things will be discussed tomorrow night, and we'd hope to see you people there with other questions.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Any more comments from announcement from city officials?
I got a question for the mayor. The $10 million project, how far along is it? And is there any money left there where it's gonna reach Dearborn Heights?
Well, I can answer that question, Councilman. The county came here, gave a presentation.
Yeah.
But they just said they have an issue with the fences, because if they take the fences down.
Well, no. Okay, well, that's not answering my question. How far along are they? And is there gonna be money left for Dearborn Heights?
We don't know.
Well, that's,
I mean,
that's
Mayor?
$1 million question, because again,
Because-
we have to figure out how many sheds we've taken down, how many
well,
fences were taken down, and the county is updating us as they get the information.
what I'm asking
I
is.
think Ali Deeb has
No,
his
what
hand
I'm
up.
asking is, there's $10 million. Where are they now? And of that 10 million, is there gonna be any money left when they get to Dearborn Heights? I don't care about the fences and everything. Is there gonna be money left when they get across Southfield and from Allen Park into Dearborn Heights? Is there gonna be any money left?
Council,
Mayor, do you have an answer?
well, they did come here present. I don't know if you were here,
I
Councilman.
was.
Most council members were here,
I
so
was
they
here,
did give
not most of them, just a
Well,
few.
whoever was here, they actually got the word. So
Mhm.
they said they're gonna get to most of Dearborn Heights, but they haven't gone out for bid for the Dearborn Heights side, so.
Can I
Mr.
answer?
Deeb, go ahead.
Yes, again, I apologize for my voice, but the last meeting we had with Wayne County, the reaches for Dearborn Heights are tentatively now scheduled for early winter or late fall or early spring. So the question about money, yes, there is money. It's the delay in the last reaches. So this is the last update I received. So if you don't get that early late in this fall, it will start early spring. To make sure that the mayor indicated that we're working with the funding we're seeking. Our current administration is looking for multiple grant funding for the issue of flood mitigation. So the friends from FDR and Downriver Council are looking at infrastructure resilience funding, which is something that we haven't approached, again, because of issues that we have in the city. So we're asking any and every possible funding source to assist. So a couple of meetings ago, the council approved that 1 mile stretch that we're working on, and that mile is currently coordinated with the FEMA update. So we're coordinating that with the latest FEMA a flood mitigation area. So we, you know, if you recall, these things are constantly updated based on, you know, the latest weather and the latest data that FEMA obtained. And then, so the last update, which I haven't received so far, is saying that the telegraph. So that's why it was selected, that 1 mile stretch that goes from Telegraph West. So we're currently working with all these agencies to make sure of two things. One, no duplications of efforts, and then two, every possible funding source is touched, so we can reduce the cost to our city.
Thank you, Mr. Deep. Thank you very much. I guess we're gonna move on now to public comment.
Yes.
You have 3 minutes. Please state your name and your address.
Asana, you in Dearborn. You guys make this like a study session when you guys want to speak 2 words. You know, you guys should speak only for 2-3 minutes. This is ridiculous. I'm sitting here waiting all day. You guys should speak 2 public comments like Dearborn. In the beginning and at the end. This is crazy. And agenda items, you guys put 3 minutes. 3 minutes for what? You're supposed to, every agenda item, somebody wants to speak about it, they can come speak about it. Don't silence the people. That's the problem. IB Electric, did you guys get the email? For them, what's it called today? There was an email sent to you guys, I have it. I was in the email, and you guys were in the email. Are you guys gonna pay the guy $7,000?
Please, just finish your question, finish everything.
I'm just asking.
We can answer. Councilman.
I want to answer him. I'm sorry.
Councilman, no. Please finish your statement.
No,
Finish your
sir,
statement.
I wanna answer. I can get a question.
I'm not going back and forth. Please finish your statement.
Go back and forth. You're gonna tell me how to speak? You're gonna tell me what to do?
Public comment.
It's public comment. He wants to answer the question. You can't silence somebody to answer the question.
After you're done, he can answer.
Yeah, I'm gonna sit here. What's it called? Spend my time. Spend the road. Put the motion on the floor and take road call. I want to speak to Mr. Saab. Does anybody want to suspend the rules?
No.
You're just making it like, what's it called? You're just running the show thinking that you want to silence people, this and that and the other. You got over here, Roger, telling me that I'm getting paid by people, very disrespectful people. And then you, on the other hand, want to disrespect me right now. The guy wants to answer the question. Let him answer the fucking question. I don't care what you say.
Chair.
No, I'm not gonna.
Council Chair.
What are you gonna do about it? Nothing. You're not gonna do nothing about it. You're a very disrespectful man. You wanna call me out like I'm a little kid? I'm not your fucking puppy, bro.
Excuse me.
I'm not your puppy, bro.
I'm not gonna keep listening to this.
I don't care what you say.
I think.
Hey, guys, point of order.
You have to give us back. Okay, please.
Outside too.
He go back to Dearborn.
Let the chief handle. Please, let the chief handle it. Please, let the chief handle it. Well, let the chief handle it. Oh.
Where's the police chief? Had me arrested for getting into it with the mayor's secretary a bit ago.
Please, point of order, please. Not to cut on his please.
Hey, guys.
One meeting, please stop. Please state your name.
What meeting?
And your address.
You, Mayor.
Please, not prominent, please.
Leslie Winless, 23469 Annapolis Street, Dearborn Heights, Michigan, 48125. I just wanted to make a few comments on the meeting and then announce an event. So the first comment is on public comment. So thank you, Tom, for bringing that up because, you know, public comment is like my arch enemy number one. But I recommend if you're going to do public comment at the beginning that you should have it at the beginning and the end because it's very hard to not be able to comment after you heard a whole meeting. And then I was also going to recommend, like the last one was saying, in Dearborn, they do allow you to comment after each agenda item, but it's only 1 minute after each agenda item. So when I need stuff approved over there, I get to, when they get to the agenda item, I get to have my presentation, the other person presents, and then there's actual comment right on the meeting. Then for Councilman Saab, you made a comment and you said all elected officials are paid by APAC.
You should probably correct that because I know I'm not one that's paid by APAC.
I'm not our government,
You're
not our
one
local, not our.
that's paid by
Let's
APAC.
never
So
finish, please. Never finish.
and then for the ride-alongs, I was kind of surprised to hear that for ride-alongs. Because I know that's something that accountability for Dearborn was trying to bring awareness to, like the liability factors in the ride-along.
Please, nothing for audience, please. For the last talk, sir, no more. If you want to talk to the chief, you can talk to this chief outside. Sir, please.
So then, when Chief Haddad was here, he really, he always passed inspections. So as first and forward, like Dearborn has always been like one of the state of art police departments. When we wanted to do all of our police reform and stuff in 2020, that's where they had us work out of. And that's how I met Chief Haddad. And he really recommended, even though I ain't doing no ride along, he did really recommend it for, engagement, community awareness, and just really getting the idea of what it feels like to be in an officer's shoes. And it's helpful if you do it in your own city, your own roads, your own back roads, that thing. Not my thing, but I can say that the police chief from Dearborn suggested them, and I know he passes his inspections because, again, state of the art police department. Next thing I'd like to see, also to something, a couple of you guys brought it up tonight, but I'd like to see us as a city do a candlelight visual or like a peaceful protest or something so we can raise more awareness to what you're talking about here. I think this is an awesome platform, but it's really a time platform and it's like so strict to like city business that I feel like we can't really get into the topic as much as we should be as a community. So I don't think that's my place to organize, but I can definitely be in the background. I've organized 1,000 of them for my own people. So I'm open to you guys if you need help organizing something like that. But as a city, we should do something together. Last, Thrive by Any Means Necessary, as well as Annapolis and Academy. We're not an official block club party, but we're a block club party. We're doing a block club party on this Saturday from 11 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. for anybody that's expecting children that is in needs. We're giving away free diapers, wipes, resources. It's put on by our event partners with the firefighters, True Community Credit Union, MJ3 Consultant, Jamie's Kids, and the Guidance Center. And then our other sponsors are the Dearborn Heights Police Department and the First Independence Bank.
Thank you, Ms. Thank you, Ms.
You can text me with any questions.
Thank you very much.
You.
Regarding the candle vigil, I think they're having a rally tomorrow at the Dearborn Library on Michigan Avenue at 6 o'clock. Councilman Saab, did you need answer, Ms. Windless?
Yeah, Ms. Windless, just our government elected officials at the government level.
Let's talk about the federal level.
Send the bombs over and approve the bombs.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Please state your name and your address.
Hi, good evening. My name is Nieves Longordo. I live in Livonia, Michigan, and I am here on behalf of A&G Construction. They're one of the lowest bidder on one of the projects mentioned earlier. I know it's not an agenda item, but I wanted to just drop off a letter stating, I handed it earlier. I wasn't sure if that was protocol, so I apologize. But basically, we just wanted to thank you for the time, and we hope that you make a decision soon. As last time that this was brought up, there was a picture shared of work that was done by Angels Construction, and we just really want to emphasize and separate ourselves from that, the work that was performed by that company. The work that A&G started doing for the city of Detroit, the cement work portion started on October. I just want to emphasize that this is a first generation family owned business that was started by Mr. Andrade and my mom, Lourdes. And they take a lot of pride in the work that they do. They want to continue to work with the city of Dearborn Heights like they did last year. And continue to offer a reasonable price to citizens of the city. And we are open to providing more information as needed for you to make your decision on this. Do you know when you're going to be voting on this bid at this time?
Please finish whatever
Okay.
your statement. We'll answer
Got it.
questions.
Okay. So yeah, just if you.
You're all set? Yeah, if you have anything, you can give it to the secretary, please, and she can pass it along. About the bid, the administration need to submit, to put it on the agenda for us to discuss and whether we approve or not.
Okay.
So it's an administration protocol.
Well, Thank you for your
Thank you very
time.
much.
Council Chair Pro Tem, I will forward the email that she
Please,
sent.
thank you very much, Madam Clerk. Any more public comments? Any people here? Please state your name, your address. You have 3 minutes.
Dave Kaufman, I live on Kingsbury Street. I think we went through this in the planning meeting where we're not supposed to give our number.
Yeah, just the street.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
So the first thing I wanted to bring up is that we are still, even after the discussion at the planning meeting last week, we still got people from Rosenau running up and down the road. I have talked to the police department to no avail, none, over the last 7 years. I've talked, until I'm blue in the face. And so what I'm left with as a law professor is that this law professor is going to go talk to the law professor that's the Secretary of State. And I'm going to have a talk with Jocelyn Benson, and I'm going to ask her to take his dealer license away. And I'm going to ask her what administrative stuff I need to go through with her department to ensure that happens. Because Rosenau is constantly, they don't care. I got told by Rosenau, that I was a liberal San Franciscan and he was a Trumpist. Well, if that's the way we're going to play it, fair enough. I am a liberal San Franciscan. I'm a San Francisco native. And so if someone wants to tar this gay San Francisco native with that, let's have a go. And I am waiting for this heart transplant. I got a lot of time on my hands and they've done pissed me off. So, when Rosenau's, I'd like everybody to just remember this when Rosenau's city license comes back up. I'm also going to be approaching the city so we can do some things on that street, like adding a stop sign at the corner of Midway and Kingsbury. So everyone has to stop all 4 ways. Now, I was promised by the 2 police officers that we were going to have more patrols on that street. Now, waiting for this heart transplant, I'm pretty much home 23 hours, 24 hours a day. I haven't seen any increased patrols. I'm still seeing the same problems on the street. And so I consider that non-responsive from the police department. Now, I'm going to speak about Gaza because I have I deal with a lot of international stuff. And have my background's in international water law, and if the mayor knew anything at all, he'd know that he's got one of the top international water people in the country here, but doesn't avail himself of someone like me with the water issues that are going down in the south part of the city. I don't know what's going on between council and the mayor, but I do know this: I retired as a judge from Seattle, and so I read the Seattle Times with some regularity. And in there was an article about a week ago, which I reported and had reposted to the Dearborn Heights Concerns page, that of the COVID money, of which there were tens of millions, only 80,000 had been obligated. Okay.
Sorry, 20 more seconds, please finish your statement.
Only 80,000 have been obligated out of tens of millions. And if the city doesn't have that money obligated by December 31st of this year, it loses all the money. So my question for the mayor is, where are all the projects dealing with $30 million worth of COVID money, which the city of Dearborn Heights is going to lose 15, 20 million.
Thank you, sir. I'm sorry, your time is up.
It's not done by then.
Thank you very much.
That is gonna.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Mayor, do you would like to answer? No?
It's already committed, so I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, there's an article.
No more, sir. No more. Thank you very much. Any more public comments? Please state your name, your address. You have 3 minutes.
Good evening again, Zuhair Abdelhad,
Good evening.
Dearborn Heights. I just want to talk about our police department. Just for the record, since I was on the council, this council have passed the largest ever in the history of the city of Dearborn Heights police and fire budget. They have given the highest increase in salaries and benefit for the first time, the largest ever in the city of Dearborn Heights. So thank you for taking care of police department and our fire department, because they are the protector of our lives
and safety in the city. I don't have anything against Mr. Swope. Actually, I like him very much, and I just hope he likes me too. My advice to him as a chief is to put politics on the side and to remember that his boss is the people of the city of Dearborn Heights, not the mayor, not the council, not anybody. And his obligation is to us, the residents, and our safety comes before anything. And he should work with everybody in the city, including the city council, even if there are issues. He should be the one who takes the first step and show courtesy to the elected officials and try to work with them. You have to work with people in order to accomplish things. You cannot be the general and everybody is soldiers. You have to extend your hands to everybody. And this is my little advice. I hope you take it to heart. As far as AB Electric, Mr. Aoun was asking, who authorized the $7,000 extra work on the in the police department in the Justice Center? Anybody knows who authorized?
Just finish your statement, sir, and we'll have your answers.
This is my statement. I just want to
Also-
know who authorized it and why the work didn't stop at the very beginning when we found out that there is no work order. Why we let somebody out of nowhere without inspecting him, checking his background or doing anything, enter areas inside the police department, which the chief of police consider restricted and, there are some information or some safety issues. Who authorized it and why it didn't stop and why we're not paying this guy? If you can explain this to the public so we put it to rest once and for all. Yes.
Well, I know we did ask for the investigation from the mayor. I think we received an email today. Was that the investigation? They have a chance to look at it. So I guess it was received by all council this late afternoon, so I guess they're gonna look at it. And, after that, probably they'll make a decision, hopefully by next meeting.
Just for the record, IB Electric is a very honorable company and the owner is very honorable person. I hope this get resolved because some people lost their jobs because of this.
Thank you, sir.
Council, I just gotta answer this quickly. I'm sorry. It's, Mr. Zohair, to get to your process, the $7,000 was approved by the director in the police department without council's consent. That's why the money was,
I would objection. Council Chair, that's a misstatement. And I would object.
Thank you.
That's it. Let's move on. Any more, ma'am? Please go ahead.
Carla Catalano, Kingsbury, Dearborn Heights.
Please, we have 3 minutes.
And I am here because I am very concerned about my street, my neighborhood. I'd like to know what is going on with that rezoning proposal that was first denied. And then somebody sitting here decided to force the commission to do a different motion, which is postponing. Much as the neighborhoods here still staying here, we'd like to know what's going on. And I like to kindly just thank you for serving us voters and residents of Dearborn Heights and being our public functionaries. And I just like to kindly remind you that you are de jure officers occupying a de jure office and you represent us. So please tell us what's going on with our neighborhood.
I'm sorry, are you talking about the proposed for the apartment
The
rezoning?
rezoning proposal.
For that, I believe the planning commission, that was denied last meeting.
Well, we were told it was going to.
No, no.
No, that was the Airbnb.
No, there. Well, it was denied. For the apartment was denied that meeting. I was here.
It's the signs are still up.
What's
Yeah, those signs, that main
probably they'll take
signs
them
are
down.
still
Is it
up.
the city signs or his signs?
His signs.
Well,
The
No, those white rezoning signs are his.
So it's been denied. He won't be building there.
No, it was denied last meeting. I was here to watch.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Please, nothing from others, please, please,
Because,
please, sir.
because we were told that it had to be postponed and it was gonna go before the city council.
No, they said if it's approved, it goes in front of council. But it was denied, so it dies right there.
We were told it was postponed. Yeah, like Alyssa.
Okay, well, please, no more from the audience, please. Just finish it.
Alyssa, the city, or the commission, the planning commission's attorney, she said to the people up here that you need to postpone this.
It was an option.
Councilman, please, let her finish, let her finish. I'm not gonna say it again.
We're very
Please finish.
confused after leaving that. And after seeing behavior here tonight, I'm wondering, I know why I'm confused. But yeah, we don't know what happened with that. Please, can you please clarify this?
Are you all set?
I am.
Thank you very much. Well, here's this is the council meeting where you were at the planning commission, different people.
Right.
But to answer your question, Roger?
Council Chair Pro Tem, I think the minutes will be ready, so you'll be able to see the vote and the decision. It should be ready this week. I believe that although it's maybe denied, they still have to bring it. I believe that's what the attorney had told you. That it would still come to the planning commission. So let's get the minutes. That'll be ready and then we'll get it out so people can see. It'll be a public record. And then you can, it doesn't mean that it's gonna get approved or it's gonna overturn the commission, but there's a procedure that the lawyer outlined it has to be followed and the judge knows that. So we'll have it ready for you and answer your question.
Are you saying it's after it's denied, it's still coming from the council?
Yeah, because of the way it was put forward. So yes, it'll still come back, but it'll come back as denied.
Right. Recommendation to denial.
Yes, as
Will
a
be
condition.
recommendation for denial.
But let's get the minutes and the minutes will reflect the vote. I think it was unanimous.
Correct.
I was at the planning commission.
Thank you, Mr. Fernand.
I'm
Thank you.
still confused. I'm sorry.
Well, basically, they deny it. Even if they bring it here, their recommendation is for us to deny it.
So do we still need to show up and?
Well, you're more than welcome to show up. I mean, we'd love for people to show up.
But for that specific.
Well, once if it's on the agenda, then you can show up.
And
You can
then
show up anytime,
We'll
but
be able to find it on the.
on the
calendar?
city website, correct.
Okay.
So it will be Thursday, what would be the 3rd, Madam Clerk? The new agenda for the next council meeting. Yeah, that would be the 3rd, I think, because I think the 8th would be the next council meeting, October 8th. I believe so.
I think so.
Well,
I think so. Yeah.
so not this Thursday, next Thursday, you'll see it, you'll see the agenda on the city website.
Okay, and it's
So,
supposed to,
yes, you are correct.
it's supposed to come before that? I mean, it was supposed to be in that agenda then?
If they're gonna bring it forward to us.
Okay,
That would be our next meeting, their
Yeah.
next meeting, next.
okay. Will I be able to ask like the clerk's office to clarify or the building's office or how to?
Well, it depends on the motion, so, but
Okay.
we have to wait until we see the motion.
Okay,
All right, thank you, ma'am.
thank you.
Any more public comment? Okay, let's move to Councilman, let's make it brief, please.
Okay, yeah,
It's,
sure.
I mean,
I'm a resident.
we're doing good on time and it's almost 9 o'clock.
Oh, it's almost 9.
Yeah.
Oh, not 10,
But
okay.
it's good.
I still have to
What's up,
drive 2.5
2:30?
hours.
Well, first of all the police issues, Chief Swope has only been on the job for a few months now. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. He inherited a lot of issues, so let's, let's give him some time, to see what happens with that. And, during all that thing about the employee family picnic, I was there and I wanted to mention that, Ali and Iman, El Sayed Meat Market, they came through with flying colors above and beyond, to make this picnic happen. And I want to tell them thank you. They do so much for the community. They do stuff for communities all around the area. And a lot of things in Dearborn Heights, and very rarely do you see anybody from the city of Dearborn Heights or organizations thanking them, and I'm starting to do it right now. Thank you so much for everything you do.
Thank you, sir.
Council Chair, may I address, to the question that was raised.
Okay, go ahead.
I believe the planning commission is recommending denial on the rezoning, but the site plan review is postponed pending our council's decision.
So if the zoning is denied, so what's the plan review for?
The site plan, and once you vote on it, then the site plan will be denied also.
Okay. So it'll be that. Okay, let's move to Zoom. Madam Clerk.
We have an iPhone.
Okay, please state your name, your address, you have 3 minutes.
There we go.
Good afternoon.
Good
On a
afternoon.
posi- and a
Good evening.
positive. Good evening. This is Mr. Jamal. I am the Director of the Community and Economic Development Department. I know acting chair today, Mr. Ahmad, you requested me and you asked about me whether I am on, but you probably didn't recognize that I am on. You had some questions for me. If you do, please go ahead.
I don't know, anybody have questions?
I had an item on the agenda. It's approved. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
We will have $1 million. Do you have any question?
I don't think we
Acting
have-
chair.
No, I don't think we have any question. Thank you for the great job you do, Director.
Thank you. Yes.
So, all set?
All set. Have a nice evening.
Thank you for approving my resolution.
Thank you. Let's move on, Madam Clerk. Please state your name, your address. You have 3 minutes.
Good evening again, Dana
Good evening.
Parrish, Grinley Park Street, Dearborn Heights. I wasn't gonna say this, but it's got so late. Stop filibustering. All it's doing is making us have to wait longer and longer. Please stop. It's very frustrating. One of the things I want to talk about was, I wanted to ask the chair or council chair pro tem, I want to ask the clerk what the current procedure is for license renewals, business license renewals. And I know she's going to answer that at the end, but I can answer that it does not include the ordinance department. So when we have these questions as to why the ordinance department isn't involved, guess what? Because you haven't made a resolution or an ordinance to include them. So you're blaming them for something that you haven't done. You can ask her right now and she's going to tell you that they are not a part of the process. They're not a checkoff. So you're blaming the ordinance director for something he isn't responsible for. The other thing I want to talk about is this friction that's starting to develop between the police department and the council. At one time, there was the previous council and the administration were working on a public safety commission. It's not what you have right now. It was a group that was supposed to be set up of residents who kind of were liaison with the police and the fire department, who kind of built a kind of a bridge so that residents who have questions or concerns, they could work more closely with the police and fire department. That idea kind of got shot down. And there clearly is a gap between what is believed and what actually is. And I think something like that could be helpful. It got shot down before for whatever reason it got shot down for. Maybe you can work together and make that happen. I don't know what's going on, but clearly there's a disconnect. And hopefully you all can work on getting that disconnect brought back together again. Thank you very much. And please consider stopping this filibustering. Let us talk. That's what we're here for. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Have a nice evening. Just to answer your first question, we're not blaming the ordinance department. We know that that's not their job right now. But like I said, Councilman Saab, he did bring that resolution in, and we're just working legalities, how to implement the ordinance department with the renewal of licenses. Madam Clerk, let's move on. Please state your name, address. You have 3 minutes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, Nicole Buckman, Academy Street, Dearborn Heights. I'm also an employee. Months ago, this honorable body approved to have a new payroll system implemented with the impression that it was going to be easier to keep track of hours, more user-friendly for the employees, and also make it easier for the payroll clerk to process payroll, which I believe is far from the truth. I think it has made her job much, much harder. It doesn't affect me so much because my hours are pretty much Monday through Thursday, 8 to 5. But anybody that is on call basis, come in for emergency after hours, such as the Department of Public Works, none of their hours are being calculated correctly. I don't know if time like accrued time and deduction of accrued time is being tracked accurately through the system. I just hope that administration stays on it. I know there was a meeting last week to try to get things clarified. However, some things that were supposed to be taken care of have not, such as requesting time off. We are allowed to request half days, not just full days, and it does not allow you to do that on your own. So I just hope administration gets on this sooner rather than later, because there are going to be accrued paid time off that you can cash in and get paid out for at the end of this year, per our contract. And if it's not calculating time correctly, that's going to be an issue and make the poor payroll clerk job even harder. That's all I got. Everybody have a good evening.
Thank you very much. Madam Controller, are you able to answer that or?
I can answer actually.
Go ahead, Mayor.
So I know there's been some issues in the past, but I was there a couple of times in the last month or so and try to get all the concerns that were supposed to be addressed, with the superintendent. So that we did have a little bit of a gap. We have a new director and he's trying to work out some of the issues and any system that you get. So the system that we have right now, it's a lot better than what we had before because of the different hours, the different shifts, the different organizations, the unions. Everybody's paid different, everybody's shifts different, especially police, fire. And so right now we're trying to work out the kinks. There's some kinks, but we're trying to work it. And the directors are trying to help out, with any concerns.
Thank you, Mayor. Madam Clerk, let's move on. Please state your name, address. You have 3 minutes.
Yes, Steve Vale, East Pleasant Ridge Street, Dearborn Heights. My comments have to deal mostly with the inefficiencies that I see from council meeting to council meeting in discussing of issues. I'm surprised that during section 9, which is reports from city officials, we don't have more report outs from the fire department, police department, major departments in regards to open issues, such as the fire department roof situation. I know months ago we talked about traffic cameras and an increase for that. Where do we sit with that? Personally, I feel that a lot of this could be easily rectified by having proper process and procedures in place within your departments. Again, this comment's probably more geared towards the administration. It amazes me in regards to this license renewal and license approval that we've gone through the same thing month after month in regards to, is it gone through a proper process and procedure or checklist as to whether these businesses coming up for renewal should be renewed. Simply put, the department should be responsible for this activity. There should be a checklist. They know what's coming up on the agenda. You should all on the council receive a note as to whether it's been approved or not. If they've met the requirements of the city for license renewal. If they have, then you approve it. You go on to the next item. The amount of time that is wasted by this council trying to discuss whether something should be renewed or not renewed, to me is ridiculous and very ineffective for the peoples here trying to view how city government works. I don't believe city council should be responsible for going out and reviewing these places. It should be coming from a department who should tell you whether or not it is approved and meets the requirements or not. And then if you on your own want to go out and visit the place, fine. But it should not go, well, we can't make a decision because I haven't seen it. There needs to be better process procedures. I've spent over 30 years doing process audits in the automotive industry. I think 90% plus of your issues could be handled if there were the proper process procedures, including requesting additional funds for budgets. I just get the feeling that nobody knows what they should be doing within the city to get certain things done in a very expedited manner. If this microcosm of a government I'm sorry, just doesn't seem to work for me as being a resident of the city of Dearborn Heights. That's all I have to say. Thank you very much for
Thank you very much, Chair, for your comment. Let me tell you, all the businesses are approved today. They did meet all the requirements needed by the city. I believe Councilman Wenzel is asking for more, which we're trying to work on to add more requirements by the ordinance department before we approve any business. Madam Clerk, can we move on, please? Please state your name, address. You have 3 minutes.
Hi, this is Sue Kaminsky, Amboy Street, Dearborn Heights. First off, regarding the situation in Lebanon, it's tragic, it's horrible. I don't think our government should be funding this, and my condolences to everybody personally affected. It's just awful. Regarding the police department, I, as a citizen, took offense to what our police chief said today, because unless there is something I have missed at a council meeting, this council has never refused the police department anything that has been brought forth, whether it's in budget or a budget amendment. And I know for a fact that this council would certainly embrace getting our police force back to where it needs to be, as long as the police officers were hired appropriately. The only thing this council has objected to is the illegal, Roger, please don't interrupt, the illegal hiring of the directors. That's all regarding the police department. The police did come out to my neighborhood and they effectively arrested some kids trying to get into cars. I appreciate it. I think our officers are wonderful and they do a great job. Regarding the fire station, I have concerns based on what the firemen themselves presented, that our firemen are being exposed to mold and the city could be at risk for future lawsuits for health issues to the mold. And I am really upset that our firemen are still residing there under those conditions while it's still raining and water's getting in and the roof hasn't been fixed and we haven't done a mold abatement. Additionally, there's an open house at the fire station coming up. And I have concerns as to the viability of the station and if our citizens are going to be at any kind of risk or exposure and whether or not that should even be happening. I have respiratory issues and some serious lung issues. I know I will not go because I will not expose myself to that. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Madam Clerk, do we have any more comments? No comments? Okay. Do I have a
Motion to adjourn.
adjourn? Motion by Councilman Saab, seconded by Councilwoman Breyer. Meeting is adjourned at 8:52. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice evening. All in favor?
Yes.
Hi.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Oh, we're opposers.